by your focus in games being fractured by poor technology and a style that goes back to the 80s even if you were born in the 90s? Then look no further than ACG Slathered Junk. That's right, a new line ACG products that are guaranteed to improve your hip thrust, hip fire, and sniper headshotting kills. Where all other imitators just buy something from a company and have a sticker just thrown on it so they can sell you merchandise, which really only results in you walking around with their head near your tits. Not ACG, baby, no way. These are handcrafted by the skilled five-fingered mittens of yours truly, put together with an aim to increase your juice. Look at these headphones, spray painted with ACG right on their side, and you can't tell me that won't raise your game, elevate your heart rate, and make you the best high-test, low-rest motherfucker on the planet. We've got everything: jugs, mugs, skirts, shirts, burkas, guns, cars, headphones, webcams, earbuds, ear cams, face tattoos, and genital piercings. It's all there. Like I said, this isn't just the normal item pulled from the shelves like all other creators out there and then slathered with their name. These are made from genuine angel dust, and not the snortable kind, but the kind you get when you grab an angel and wring its body free of its magical powers that slowly dies to light the frozen fires of excellence in all our products. ACG Slathered Junk. I take care of you when no one else will. All the shit total BS, and like all other creators, it's not better than normal marketed brands, but buy my shit, please. In a world where first-person shooters are relegated to been there, done that status, a new contender has arrived. Today we announced Call of Karak 2, the Karakening Limited Unlimited Collector's Ultimate Exclusive We Ran Out of Fancy Shit Names Edition. Where other video game editions just give you a couple items, we here at Crack Design Incorporated Productions want to reward you, the gamer. Now we have marketing data that proves that all the other shit you get matters more to you guys than the game. So when you buy for a limited but ultimately unlimited time and purchase the Unlimited Collector's Limited Edition, you get DLC that'll be sold later in a complete package, a gun painted like a giraffe, a gun painted like you would probably paint it, a deck of completely unrelated Norway playing cards, a specially designed Zika-sized mask guaranteed to fit no one, and lastly, get access to the PC version early so you can beta test that bitch for us. But most importantly, for a completely unlimited time to make you feel like you need to rush out and get it, we have an oversized, completely ridiculous statue lit up with Christmas tree lights that we won't tell you how much it costs us to make, but you can bet some kid in China's pounding these out 20 a day while high-fiving a statue of Xi Jinping on his way out every morning. And to close this off, here's a list of bullet points that we needlessly make look like they're all in the special editions, but are actually just in the game. The game. A manual, like that's somehow special. An explanation of the modes right here because it's got numbers in it. It'll make you think there's more going on. And lastly, multiple times where we can use the word epic and massive to make sure that you feel like you're going into a Michael Bay movie. So by now enjoying the epic, interconnected, massive, scorching, huge, big word, interactive, open, but really hub world gameplay experience. This is somehow already being claimed as a classic, an instant hit, and amazing by websites that haven't even fucking played it yet. So join us September never. Disclaimer, also not on early access services because we're shit with promises. And today, a special thanks to our new sponsor. Have you ever wanted to be a part of nerd culture but didn't have the money to jump into the newest graphics cards, expensive figurines, or YouTubers trying to sell you on 3D printing at home where they get a cut? Well, look no further. A company's found the perfect middle ground for people with just enough money to spend, but not enough to do anything useful with. Karak Crate, where you get a new crate of random Karak items every single month. Each month, a different box arrives at your door. Spatulas, used socks, my slightly bent and beat up cheese grater, or a cat. That's right, for only $14.99 per month, twice a month, you get a small crate sent to your house, just absolutely stock full of useless bullshit. Each pack is created to make sure that you get at least 4 rare items as well as 4 items that you won't have any fucking clue what to do with. Now, just some of the amazing things that you can get in your new Karak Crate: a pair of bloody scissors, used facial scrubber, 1/2 of a well-worn jockstrap, and the last ball of lint that my cat coughed up. Ladies and gentlemen, you won't find a better deal for something to make you feel like you're wasting your cash on crap anywhere else. And these items are nice enough to display proudly around your home as a member of the Karak Crate. Each comes with a stand made of genuine bullshit. The same bullshit anyone is trying to prattle to you like you're a rot-lipped gate mouth whenever they want you to pay for a mystery crate filled with useless shit just like this. So again, try Karak Crate. For just $21.99 per month, 4 times a month, each month, twice a month, you can get an amazing crate filled with stuff that you will have no fucking idea what to do with. Karak Crate, where strange comes to you. Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Boom. What's up, everybody? This is Karak with ACG, and I'm here with Reg, Johnny, Silver. Well, Reg, Johnny, Silver, and yeah, me. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
4 of us.
Well, that's it, yeah.
And all you guys for the International Podcast. Thank you very much for showing up. We're going to cover a bunch of stuff today. I hope you're having a delicious, amazing weekend. Speaking of delicious, Johnny is...
looks like our names on the
I'll
podcast
fix it.
are...
Looks like Johnny is trying to pick up some eggnog here, is what I've heard.
Right.
So
I thought it would be a cool touch to try it here next week.
Explain your difficulty with finding eggnog. What is it difficult to get it where you are?
Yes.
So
Not difficult, but it's not like thrust on your face. You kind of have to go to the right aisle where in a corner there are like 2 types.
do you think they're just trying to save your health? They're like, seriously, dude, you don't need to drink like milk, sugar, and eggs. Come on, man. Do you
You
think
mean
it's
kind of
like
like
the government?
Bleach that has a ton of warnings on it?
Yeah,
Like, are you sure this,
or
you want
coffee
to buy
that's
this?
too hot, and they're like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, dude, eggnog, like I was telling these guys prior, I can't, I had eggnog earlier, started to feel ill, so I've gone on like a super restrictive diet to lose some weight, especially because eggnog gains weight quick. I don't know if you guys saw my post, but I gained 11 pounds in like 2 weeks by just eating nothing but eggnog, and I don't even know what else I ate. I think it was pretty much eggnog and cheese. Super healthy. And Andres Mendez, $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Happy you could join us. Yeah, we are going to talk about NFTs. For sure. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the companies coming and going. We're going to talk about how important NFTs may or may not be in the future. Let's see. First time making it live, Cash Dog. Thank you very much, Cash Dog. We hope that, I mean, at some point you'll probably be entertained. Maybe. We'll say something stupid. That's possibly. Did you guys notice all the branding I had going on? Got like ACG in the back, ACG in the corner.
What?
Wearing an
No,
ACG
no.
shirt.
What branding? What are you talking about?
Actually, honestly, I just wanted something different, so I started like throwing different stuff up there, and then right before we went live, I'm like, "Damn!"
When are we getting the beanies, man? ACG beanies.
They can't do it. They can't do it.
What?
I've got ACG, but it separates. The beanies stretch, and the letters separate. It's just a disaster.
Wow.
The only thing you can get is the big emblem that so you look like a Chevy running forward. You look like the hood of a car. It's just it doesn't look good. So I just decided screw it. Let's see. Eggnog can upset your stomach quick. It can, but dude, technically, I should be impervious to that shit. Like, by now, I should be completely impervious to eggnog sick stomach. I don't know what it was. I think it was just not doing a lot, too. There wasn't a lot of games to cover, so you know how sometimes you, like, sit back and you just don't do anything and you start to feel crusty? I think that's what was going on. I spent a couple days in my own filth where you're like, seriously, dude, you know, where, like, people are calling up your house randomly going, dude, you need to shower. Like, you stinking. I can smell you.
From outside.
From outside.
Yeah.
They're like, mailman comes, delivers mail, and he calls up, and he's like, yeah, this is the mailman. I just walked by your house. Something's funky. And you're like, all right, man, it's probably time to wash myself. No, I just had 1 or 2 days where I relaxed totally, and I don't know. It screwed up my stomach. Derek, $5 super chat. Do you think sequels help to generate interest in past titles? Cheers. Longtime fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? Because, I mean, Alan Wake 2... It got announced, and I had people in the Discord saying they were going to check out 1 for the first time.
Yeah, I think that can happen.
Right?
Or
I
like
mean,
Witcher
I love
3.
Pathfinder, and I went back to the first one after.
There you go. Or Witcher 3. A lot of people played 1 and 2 after having played 3.
Damn, you know, going back to Pathfinder 1, that's some balls. Because that game
man.
is...
Goddamn, son.
Yeah, that's the Dark Souls of choices. Let's just get it out of the way. That's just pretty. That's pretty harsh, man.
Or the most extreme example, of course, my Trails journey. I looked at the current one and then went back to the all 8 prior titles and played through them.
Wow.
Yeah, that's rough too. Mendez also stated, I meant to send a message with that last super chat. Just wanted to say thank you for your reviews. Garrett, he called me Garrett, which is from Thief, which is just as cool as Karak, if not cooler. I hope you all have an amazing Christmas. Thank you very much. We hope you do too. Wild Ones, ACG, Gunk. That's true. That is true. I was talking about Stinkin'. Gunk is a perfect title. In fact, I think that was pretty much what was going on, because I was playing Gunk, and I was just so depressed. Dude, I have some awesome responses for the Gunk. Wow. The Gunk is definitely a game that is as mediocre as its name, but its responses, whether it be Game Pass, PlayStation fans happy that it's not reviewed the best, whatever. The back and forth about the Gunk is way beyond what the game is. Like, it's pretty crazy to see some of the discussion. What have you guys been playing? Did anybody play the Gunk? So we can
no.
Okay, no. All right, what have you guys been playing? Just go ahead. We'll just go. Whoever wants to go first.
I'm still in the Halo games. Finished Halo 3 and ODST on to like about midway, I think, through Halo 4. Not really crazy to see about Halo 4, I have to admit. Like, I feel like the enemy design in that game doesn't quite hold up to. I mean, that it's difficult given that the Covenant enemies of the original Halo games were some of the best enemy designs
Right.
in modern shooters, I think. But the new like Promethean robots, like the Knights and whatnot, are really annoying to fight. Like the Knights, especially with those, they have those flying shield boosters that hover around everywhere. That's incredibly annoying, particularly on the harder difficulties, heroic and legendary, which I'm playing on. So it's feeling a bit more like a chore to get through that, but I'm getting there. Also still playing F1 2021, having a great time still with that. That's mostly what I've been playing at the moment.
Excellent. Johnny?
I'm doing the Surge 1. It's been pretty great. It plays just like 2 for me. I mean, there are a couple things missing there that I liked from 2.
Sure.
But plays very similarly. The setting is a bit samey. I think I said this last week, but it's still very fun to play. Very, very good. There are some weird spikes where areas where enemies are just a pain in the ass compared to others, and you have to like all of a sudden fight, 3 of them and stuff like that. But pretty cool.
Anything else?
No, a little bit of Persona 5 on the side, but that's about it.
Gotcha. Reg?
Are you getting toward the end of the year on that? Sorry.
Yeah, I am actually. I'm now doing content that's only present in the Royale Edition for reference.
Oh, nice. So you have actually you've finished like the vanilla game, as it were, like the original.
So it's a bit kind of blends in. So it bleeds into.
Yeah. When
yeah.
Kasumi first appears is where you were at then.
Well, it's I can't really say anything without revealing. I'll tell you after the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reg?
Right. I've been playing Escape Simulator with Johnny.
That's true. We played
Escape the Room game with. That's pretty cool, especially because it has a community level editor as well. So it ships with 15 rooms that are done by the devs themselves. I think 15 rooms. They're sort of short-ish affairs, so every room is between 20 minutes to half an hour, at least the early rooms. But it also comes with a level editor, and from what I've seen in the workshop, there's already like 800 community-created levels in there.
Jeez.
So, yeah, and a little bit of Witchwood. That's the other game I played.
Do they have a rating system for, real quick about your VR, do they have a rating system for what levels are good in the community?
The workshop has like a 5-star rating system and discussion, believe.
Did you say you play Witchwood, Red? Because
Yes,
I actually thought about linking that game to you because I saw it and I thought you'd really like that game.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I already knew about it. Cheers, though.
Yeah,
Witchwood. So it is like a very stylized crafting game, but single player. So it's
basically it has you playing as the old witch in the woods, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Brewing potions and whatnot for people,
and it's very directed. So you have quests. You have to like reach the next area, and to reach the next area, you have to craft something specific, and to craft that, you have to craft other stuff. So it's a full-on crafting game.
Right.
I put that in my looking forward to, I think, in my December list. I haven't got a chance to play it, but is it super simple? Would you say, Reg?
I mean, the crafting itself is not complicated. It is literally just clicking the button to craft something. You have to collect a lot of different stuff to craft it, though.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Can you die? I guess is what I'm asking.
You can. You do have a health system. I mean, right now at the beginning areas where I am, it would be very hard to actually die.
Gotcha.
Like, I don't know how you would really do it unless you went AFK, maybe. Maybe in the later areas, it gets more troublesome. Yeah, that's it. Those are the games.
Sorry, I'm pouring out all my Mountain Dews into my energy drink. I've been playing, I played the Gunk. I played a bunch of streaming games. Ubisoft's, a lot of Ubisoft titles, Far Cry and stuff like that. I tried it when I was doing streaming on my TV. Tried it with my new Fire Stick to see how that worked. Try it with the TV stream, all this kind of stuff. And, here's what's weird, man. I can do some hacks, and Moonlight looks better than GeForce Now with a 3800, and it really bothers me. It bothers me because it's the image quality, and I don't get it. And I mean remotely. So, like, you can, using Parsec and all this kind of stuff, like, your response, you lose a little bit because you're bouncing it twice. But the image quality in GeForce Now with the 38 GTX, I'm sorry. I see people say the image is good, and I sent them a picture of mine, and they're like, yeah, yours is even better than mine. I'm like, dude, that's shit. Like, so I don't know. Somebody was telling me, explaining on Twitter how they were doing their bit rate even on the highest. Highest you can get is 50, which I have 1,000 down, 1,000 up. So there is some opening there for more stuff. But it just, it doesn't. I was sort of depressed on that because on the Xbox it has better quality, I've noticed, but the latency is worse. So it's like I can't win no matter where I go. Who was going to ask something? Somebody say something? Oh, I got a weird little audio glitch. And so I was doing that, and then Christmas present, that's a shot. That's like a game all by itself, trying to figure out who you're going to buy what for and trying
Navigate
to get...
that.
Yeah, dude, because people send me their Amazon list, and I'll be like, first of all, bitch, you ain't getting nothing on your Amazon list. Don't send me what you want. And then one of my friends will send me super expensive stuff. I know we talked about this last year, where you get like $300 stuff on their Amazon list. And I'm like, who do you think I am, man? I'm not Jake Paul. I don't have the money to just roll out $300 for your fucking little niche, like, pop-up head version of a Gears of War character. Christ, man. So trying to figure out what to get everybody and getting it to people is difficult because of the, the COVID. What year are we in, guys? Are we in our third year? Are we rolling into the third year? Or is this rolling in?
No, this is only the second.
Gotcha. Rolling.
Yeah, it was 2020.
Yeah, 2020.
It feels like two, I swear.
Dude, it's crazy, and it's really definitely starting to boil up. It's really starting to boil up where I'm like, all right, now we got to figure something out. Like, do we just all go out and, wish for the best? What do we do? It's pretty difficult. What else have I been playing? Bunch of Tabletop Simulator, messing around with some hardware stuff, but nothing really big. What's everybody playing in the chat? I see a lot of people have been playing, what do you call it? Halo Infinite. Anybody play that in this last week? Not really?
No, not yet.
Still not on it.
Yeah, so there's that. There's a couple games. I think December's pretty much wrapped up, right?
Well,
I mean, yeah, for the bigger ones, yeah.
Yeah. So then we're looking at January and February where it's going nuts. I'm gonna read
February especially. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, somebody's got to turn that down, right? Somebody's got to look at that and be like, all right, we ain't doing it. Mendez did another super chat so that his super chat could have the original language that he had in his super chat. So I'm going to read it again. I meant to send a message with the last one. I know I read this, but he did another super chat. So just wanted to say thank you for your review. Garrett, once again, called me Garrett. I hope you all have an amazing Christmas. Zero says, what's good? You look like you got some sun. I did, actually. We had sun for the last week, and I've been sort of going outside, so thank you. I haven't been outside since 2019. All right.
Yeah.
Probably right. Yeah. We will be talking about Final Fantasy's absolutely terrible PC port. Yes. Sofa Surf says, does wearing a slightly oversized button-up shirt, kind of like a jacket, mean I have a bit of style or no style at all? Style questions with ACG.
That depends on whether or not you're wearing a shirt underneath.
Dude, do you know what it depends on? Nothing. There is no style anymore, right?
Exactly. It just depends on your self-confidence.
Exactly. Style is gone. Style used to be like a thing, 80s style, 90s style, whatever. But about 2005, people were like, fuck it. I'll wear, I'll look. Yeah, I mean, people showing up in their pajamas to the store to get bread. Somebody else dressed to the nines. Like, you do you. And if somebody else likes it or dislikes it, whatever. Don't worry about it. Let's see. Dad beats. Dad beats could be read differently depending on the inflection.
Oh, dad beats?
Yeah.
Right.
You guys are like a pair of well-used slippers, comfortable to find at the end of the day. Thank you. And I don't know if that means
at least he didn't say slip into. That would have been.
That is true. Chris, what's up? $10 super chat. Hi, guys. Love the podcast, longtime fan. Wanted recommendations on a good racing wheel setup to get for mid-level setup for PC and Xbox. I have the G27 whatever from Logitech, and I also have the Thrustmaster 150. I would probably suggest the Thrustmaster 150 because the 27 has had some issues when it comes to steering wheels with centerline, where you leave it in the center and it wiggles. And it's happened on 2 different games, and I've seen it. I've seen other people talking about it, and I had never had it, and then just recently I did end up getting it. So
I have the G27. I haven't used
As
it
well?
much. Yeah, but I haven't encountered that issue, but I also haven't used it much.
Yeah.
Like I've been happy with it the few times I've used it.
yeah, there's 2 particular games it does it like for sure in, and I was like, I'm not having it, and then I realized I was in some place. It's almost like it's if it can't figure out where it needs to go. It really sucks. So I would say I would suggest the 150, and then you can get pedals that are better if you want. There's also pedal mods, and they're not expensive, man. I mean, well, they are. Okay. What I mean to say is that is midline. You don't have to go expensive to enjoy yourself. I should have said that right away. Thank you very much for the super chat. It helps. Is Karak from Homeworld or D&D? That's from Warhammer, so technically D&D. Zero says, I wanted to send a super chat asking ACG his tips for bulking up as a skinny-ass dude. I got to get some muscle on me fast. I'm looking like a damned Crypt Keeper over here. Do you guys know what the Crypt Keeper is?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
should
Tales
look
from
at-
the
yeah.
Crypt.
Yeah, Tales from the Crypt.
I watched that growing up.
Demon Knight is like one of the best like horror like comedy films made.
That's the one with Billy Zane,
With-
right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. That is actually a very good comedy horror movie. You know, B movie, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know, tips for bulking up, dude. Without knowing, I mean, roids. Could always get roids. I'm just joking.
Yeah, there we go. That always works.
Yeah, that'll work. I mean, it really does depend, because I know some people who do maxes of 4, which is crazy. That's so low, and they get ripped. It just depends on your own body too. But for me, it's like maxes of 8 and reps of 8. But I've seen people do reps of 4. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder how natural they are, because that's pretty raw. Like,
Yeah.
unless you're doing a lot of different types of sets and stuff. But maxes definitely help for bulking up. But I mean, it's different for everybody. You're really gonna have to look up your body type, because body type matters too.
Yeah.
And you
I
gotta
was
eat.
gonna say,
I know a
as
lot of people who
someone
don't eat.
has, as someone who has a like fairly skinny like body type, you know, even working out and eating a lot, it takes a lot to gain like weight, to like bulk up. And so you might have to do extra on the eating side, for example, to
Yeah.
actually bulk up. So it really depends on body type.
You know, people who don't eat and they can't figure out why they can't like gain muscle. It's like, dude,
right,
you
and they work
literally-
out a lot too.
they work out a
but they're
lot.
like, but
Yeah.
they're not eating enough, right? So
Yeah, that's why you always hear of even like The Rock or something. You hear them talking about different types of working out for different parts, because technically bulking would be different than cutting and all those kind. Like, it's very difficult unless you just want to go Iron Man. In fact, like, I've seen some people who are like the perfect, the macros, micro, they've got everything, you know, and I'm like, dude, seriously. I mean, unless you're like a movie star, I don't know if I'd worry too much about that. I'd probably just try to put some bulk on and then cut it off if you wanted. Derek says, are you guys hoping for better combat in Hellblade 2? For sure.
Not
Yeah.
really.
I am. You
I mean,
you were okay with the
yeah,
combat in
I mean,
Hellblade?
Yeah, I mean it's not great, but it doesn't have to be great, because combat is not the main focus of the game.
Hellblade 2 it is. I think you're going to be
Yeah.
surprised.
if-
That's the
yeah.
problem, I think.
Yeah, I mean if it is, then certainly if it weighs heavier to combat, then you would hope that the combat is better. Yeah. But if it's just more of Hellblade 1, then I don't necessarily see the need for it in that area. I would rather that they focus on other areas.
I'd love it to be more of Hellblade 1, but I just don't see it in today's current environment.
Right.
I see them as wanting Hellblade to be God of War for Microsoft. I really do. I really
Right.
do.
That's certainly a very real possibility. Yeah.
Which is,
And-
you know, I
Yeah,
guess that's a
don't-
realistic desire. There's nothing wrong with that. What were you going to say?
sorry, I don't know
I
about
mean,
you
there is
guys.
something wrong with it, but yeah.
I don't, I
would
don't
say,
think so.
yeah.
I mean, you want your competition. Everybody wants a racing game. God of War does well. They want their
Yeah.
thing.
I was just gonna
Yeah,
say,
but
I don't know
applying it
about
to
you.
something else for that is no, sorry.
Come on.
Johnny, go ahead.
So in Hellblade 1, I did feel at points it was very repetitive, in the sense they were just tossing waves of the same dudes at you over and over, like relentlessly.
In
To
what
the
game?
point of in
Hellblade.
Hellblade 1, there were a couple segments
Really?
specifically when it was, waves of the same two guys kind of over and over. It definitely got a bit like, yeah, we get it.
That's true, but I think that was also the point of those segments, was to instill that kind of feeling in you, because that was also kind of what Senua herself was feeling.
Yeah, I just didn't have fun with that as a game, if that makes sense.
No,
I
no,
understand that
I
maybe
completely
they're
understand
trying to give you that
Because
feeling.
I don't think, I don't think it was designed to be fun, is the thing. Yeah. Specifically.
guess
So I understand why you wouldn't have
That's
fun.
my issue with it, though, because for me,
No, that's
I
understandable.
yeah.
Zero M, I'm sorry. I just realized who you are. Welcome back. It's been a long time.
Oh.
Sorry. He said it's been a long time, but I was like, I recognize him, and I was while you guys were yakking about that. Santos, greetings from Brazil. First time seeing the podcast live. Any plans on reviewing Thunder Tier 1? Thunder Tier 1. I do not even know what that is, so I will check it out. So I would say no right now.
I haven't heard of it either.
Hello from Brazil, or from America. Hello to Brazil.
Also, it's been out for 10 days already.
It's been out for 10 days. Game's old. It's already got a sequel. I don't care. No, I'm just joking. I'll check it out. Thunder Tier 1. Yeah. What is it? What is it?
The top-down shooter thing.
I honestly didn't know.
Yeah, it looks a little bit like Door Kickers, only a little more elaborate. Or
And then Space Daddy 20. Whoa, 2299. Almost said 2077. Wow. $20 super
look
chat.
a lot like Door Kickers, but yeah.
How about
Also
Yoshi
can't be
P having to stop sales of Final Fantasy until they get their servers issues dealt with because it got too successful too fast? It did. It did. I mean, dude, it's not only too successful, it's just a lot of people it's got new content. A lot of MMOs don't right now. And a lot of people who had it for a long time are signing back in too. So I was finding out that a lot of my friends who had owned it for a long time are now getting back in, not even buying a new version, maybe getting what is it called? Endwalkers?
Endwalker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very cool that they're doing well. I mean, I don't like it very much, but it's just because it fits a certain type of MMO demographic that doesn't speak to me. But it's apparent that obviously everybody else does. So, well, everybody.
You don't like the bunny girls, the cat girls?
It's
Come on,
that,
man.
and it's just I'm really done with the big the big lists of skills
fair.
and stuff. You know, it's just like it's a lot. It's a lot. If it was an IP I was more interested in, maybe. You know, it's like it's just one of those things that comes and goes. But I'm happy for them. They're doing, dude. They've supported it. This is the rebirth, or after the rebirth. They've already rebuilt it. What is this the second time? This is only the second time they've rebuilt that game, right? Because they had the original.
They
and then
rebuilt the base game
the
once.
base game.
Yeah, and then content patches.
Yeah, so good on them. I mean, Johnny plays the shit out of it, right? Still?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I've taken a break because I can't log in, right? In the past 2 to 3 weeks.
Right.
But yeah, I'm planning on getting back. Now I'm starting my holiday, so I don't have to play only
there you go.
after
You can
work.
log in now and play at the end of the holiday.
No,
Yeah, what's it do? Sit in a queue?
The queues are fine, like in the morning, for example, because most people are at work or something.
Or something.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to cut off, sales, hold off.
Yeah,
try to
it's
figure out
I
what
guess
the
it's
issue
a bold move because you're saying even if you wanted to go out there and buy the game and get into it, you can't. But at the same time, it makes sense to prioritize the people who already have the game.
Not only that, but
And
like,
allow
why
them-
have the bad, why have the bad press of people saying, "Hey, I can't even get into your game,"
Right?
which
yeah.
you'll get YouTube. Instead, you can say, "Look how popular we are." It's the hot chick in high school. I get to choose, and so that's what they're doing. Is they're like, "Hey, I'm off the market." Which, I mean, it works. It works. And it's true. Obviously, it's true because, like, you guys all had, not you guys, but Johnny and the other people I know who played it have had issues logging in. It is that popular, which is great. That's awesome. And I think some people will roll over to Elder Scrolls. I think Star Wars would have loved to do their expansion this month, even though they finally delayed it. I think they would have loved to have done it to get some of that roll off, somebody looking to get an MMO fix. But yeah, man, it's good time for them. Congratulations. I don't know if I'll ever, return to it. I tried a little bit. Reg, did you play it?
Final Fantasy?
Yeah.
No, I bounced off that game so often.
Tried multiple times?
Yeah.
Hey, you give it a try, it doesn't work. I mean, that's life. Try it once or twice. That's Endwalker. I know a lot of people have been happy with that. I haven't really discussed it with anybody. Just hearing some of the people on our Discord, it's been pretty crazy. Did you guys touch on NFTs yet? No, we will right now. So let's just get this out of the way. So NFTs, so that people understand. We've already discussed that. You can watch another video on the true breakdown of NFTs. But what we saw was Stalker. They stated they were going to have NFTs, as well as Ubisoft. I know of 2 other companies. When I had done my NFT video, I had heard that Stalker was going to be 1, so I had said 3. So now I'm going to have to go back and change that video back to 2. But I know of 2 more who are looking at doing NFTs in their games. Their desire is to basically say that special cape you bought in the past was just a cape. When you got it from your DLC package or when you got it from the game, that's it. You can't really do anything with it. What an NFT would technically allow is for them to basically say it's worth something, it's special, and you could technically sell it, which I think that's the one positive of NFTs, but you can do it this another way, which I do want to talk about that. You can do this another way. But NFTs would allow you to sell digital products to somebody else, meaning I could package up my game as an NFT and sell it to somebody, digital NFT. But you can do that anyway. There's ways for companies to work that out. It's just, as somebody else said, NFTs, and I think Reg got the Kotaku in it. They even state
Gamer, I think it was.
Basically what NFTs are is the more inefficient way of doing the stuff we can already do. And that is absolutely true. That is true. You'll even have people say, by the way, if you ever hear somebody say that they have a negative carbon footprint NFT, they're lying. So what they're trying to tell you is that an NFT takes electricity to do the calculation. And what they're doing is they're saying for every bit that we do, we're going to go plant some trees. And I got to tell you, dude, that's a political minefield. That's bullshit.
Or you're buying the carbon footprint of somebody else.
Yeah. Dude, just don't. But if anybody in the world tries to tell you that, and I'm somebody who doesn't have an issue with NFTs in some ways or blockchain, I get it. But guys, I get it because I do understand it. Don't let anybody tell you that truly exists. That's just bullshit. It's buying debt. That's the kind of stuff that got us in, issues in America with buying debt from various different homeland. Like, you just don't buy something you have to have a direct impact. Once you get to your second or third stage, it's bullshit. It's just, by that point, it's just bullshit. So, Stalker removed theirs, and I had somebody in my Twitter say, I'm never going to trust them again. And I got to be honest, man, I don't agree with that. I feel that they were clear that they were putting them in. People fed back, and they were very clear they're removing them. I personally am okay with that. They weren't like Ubisoft, who hid their video, right? Stalker stated, we're doing this. The response was negative. Now, somebody's going to say, when I say, what else do you want? Somebody's going to say, I want them to not do it. It's not the way it works, guys. It's not the way it works, and it's best to move the discussion to the way it works so that you can fight that. They did. They stated, we heard you guys. We heard the fans. We won't put it in. To me, I'm like, that's the way it should be. And somebody said, well, who's to say they can't add it later? The same people who say you can't add it to any game currently, which you can.
Yeah.
There's nothing, there is no more chance.
Like a microtransaction store that happens like 2 months after
or
launch.
Online store purchases for the Xbox One where everybody was so against them. And they were like, man, Xbox One's going to have DRM, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? So does Sony now. It's just that Microsoft openly stated it out loud. All the other companies were doing it. And guess what? They've leached them back in anyway. So you're going to have to look at each game and decide on your own. And this is the future we're going to. I hate it because I think NFTs are terrible and blockchain are terrible for the environment the way they currently are.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean that. I'm not an environmentalist, and I mean that.
not only that, but like there's all kinds of pyramid scheme potentials in them as well. And
Yeah.
I mean, for my part, my main bugbear is I have absolutely no confidence in giving them the benefit of the doubt for the good. I mean, you look for like working it to benefit gaming or whatever you want,
It's
the
a
business
business.
as a whole, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at what's happened with microtransactions over the past 15 years, right? And how that's developed in terms of like exploitation. You give them a hand and they'll take the arm. That's just the natural evolution of how that progresses. So yeah, that's where my main concern with NFTs are.
Well, yeah, there are several issues with them. Apart from the environmental stuff, which is massive, you also have how they work by themselves. You're not buying an item or something. You're not buying the file. You're buying literally a token that points to somewhere where that file lives.
Yeah.
So once that server shuts down, guess what? Your purchase also goes with it.
Yeah, guys,
You have a
this
token
isn't...
that is worthless.
Reg is right. I'm not pimping. I mean, normally I wouldn't even pimp the video, but you guys should watch that NFT video because I did cover that in particular, is that if you have current issues, you have to look at future issues with NFT now in them. And one of the big ones is games going away. If the game server and everything goes away, sure, you could have an NFT pointing to Ethereum if that's where the... But the thing is, these companies don't care.
Shit.
Well, not only that, they're not going to end... No one that I... Okay, I could be wrong. There's a couple companies that release private server packages out to the open, but it's fucking rare. Most of them just disappear. Titanfall, if you had bought a skin in Titanfall that was an NFT, Titanfall is gone. Now, if you want to collect it just so you can display it on a web page, great, but guess what? I can also right-click, copy-paste, and display it on my web page too. It's just that your NFT proves your ownership of that particular JPEG. If I change the color... Technically, right now, I can do an NFT of a changed color one.
Well,
that's one of the issues.
Not even that. Even if the server stays up and the NFT points towards a JPEG or whatever.
Yeah.
Somebody could change the JPEG. The server could be hacked. The JPEG could be changed. Like, there is nothing protecting you against anything.
Yeah. I think NFTs, I love the idea of a digital sale for the gamer. Love it. So I buy the DLC for Assassin's Creed, right? Atlantis was Odyssey. I get all the DLC, I've played all the game, and I've really liked it, and I've got some special cloaks. Right now, I can't sell that to Reg. I don't think that that makes sense. What I would like to be able to do is, like, click a button, ignoring NFTs for a second. I would like to click a button saying, remove my access completely, right? And apply it to in sale point, which is Reg's code, and Reg gets it, and now he has all the DLC and everything. Not to save game. All the DLC, everything I purchased. That should already be there. It should already be there.
Kind of like the equivalent of going to a GameStop and like...
Yes, and that's the problem with NFT. All it does is point out what we don't have already. That's the one problem. That's what I was saying in the video. I'm like, all this does is point out that we don't have a ton of things we should already have right now. That's all NFT's really doing, is just saying, look at all the things that you can't do right now. NFT's going to magically fix it? Fuck you. It's absolutely not. Sorry, Reg, go ahead.
No, that reminds me of Robot Cash, which I think is still in beta or something. That video game store by Brian Fargo that uses the blockchain to make games resellable, digital games. The problem with that there is also, guess how much you get of a cut as a seller? You get 25%.
Yeah. Right.
The rest goes again and again with every sale to the publisher.
Wow.
Yeah, it's you know, I like the idea of me making a weapon in a game. I love this idea of me this is what Microsoft, by the way, back, if anybody remembers the old Microsoft E3 3 gens ago, Microsoft had Skater Girl and she was selling a skateboard. This never occurred. But their idea was that a person, an artist, could make something and sell it in a digital storefront to somebody else. I have no issues with that. In fact, I want it.
Nope.
I want to be able to, I like my shirt designs. I want to be able to get a shirt design, put it on a car in Forza, and say, boom, you can have this. But the NFTs aren't required for that. They're not required. The only reason we're hearing about it now is because the companies have realized NFTs will help them make money from it. above and beyond where they don't have to use the excuse of finance fees. They can use the excuse of it's blockchain and energy, so we're taking a fee. Because have you ever bought from Grubhub and they'll be like, delivery fee, driver tip, and you're like, wait, the delivery fee is more than the driver tip. What? Who gets the delivery fee? And they're like, oh, the company does. Yeah. And you're like, but the company's already got a fee. It's right there. They have 3 fees for the same fucking thing. Yeah. It's food. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of weird shit that goes on. But long story short, check out the video. It really is important that people understand not only what we don't have right now, but what NFTs could do in the future, even if they're not called NFTs, that companies should already be doing, which is give gamers, we're going to digital anyway. There's got to be a way to allow gamers to sell their digital games that doesn't involve NFTs. Well, we know there is. That should happen. So.
Or at the very least, not the NFTs on the energy wasteful.
Oh, God, dude. People don't get it. They have no clue what NFTs, like the amount, if anybody's ever mined, even if you're mining a low energy crypto, you can actually feel it. And that's one of billions. I mean, there's a reason why China's like, I mean,
I don't know the exact numbers anymore, but I'm pretty sure I read that for a single transaction, the total energy usage to have it confirmed on the blockchain is about $100 worth of electricity for any transaction.
Wow.
Yeah, that's insane. So you guys know me, man. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, Greenpeace and shit. I'll club seals right along with everybody else. But I'm just joking, I would. But I like, even when I look at something, I'm like, whoa, like that's bad. If you're hearing me say it's bad, it's got to be really bad. Because like, I understand we need energy now. We need to do our things now and worry about the future as well. And not just worry about the future. Otherwise, everybody will starve to prepare for some 20 years down the road. But yeah, it's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad. So, check it out. If anybody thinks we're negative on crypto, I think some of us have crypto, invested or whatever. It's not that. NFTs, it's not necessarily that, though NFTs have been misused. But it's just overall, it's just a bad idea. And good on Stalker's company they announced it, they said they're removing it. Somebody related it to racism and that they would never trust the person again because it was like they were a racist back in the day and they said something racist and now they're saying they're not a racist anymore. And I was like, bro, not even connected. Not even that level. I don't think it's that serious. I think the company just basically tried it, said it's not going to work, people don't want it, and they removed it. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
How would NFT blockchain be implemented in a single player game? Single player games would most likely I would assume, be something like, remember, you can NFT anything. You can NFT a word. So I would assume it would be something like the titles that you get, or if you make something in your
also,
game.
you don't have to be online for the NFT to be synced.
True.
Also, I mean, you have to be online for it to be synced, but not to work.
Let's see. Is it like Flight Skins and Flight Simulator? Yeah, in a way. Yeah, I know. I mean, it could be. That's the thing. People don't realize NFTs can be anything.
Yeah.
Anything. Like, at all, which I think is why everybody's trying to make so much money. I get it too. We're all sitting here talking about,
it's a new gold rush.
The ecology, but it is a new gold rush.
Especially while the big tiers aren't flowing yet, with shit going down, like massive shit.
Yeah.
Imagine once the NFTs that went for millions are just poof.
Yeah, and especially also because at the moment it is a free for all. There isn't like tight regulation or anything on it yet. So
yeah, that's the thing. It's almost like Patreon, and Kickstarter, by the way, switched to blockchain. So if there's any company in the world out there that I already think Kickstarter was a sham after seeing multiple companies not needing Kickstarter and like all the weird ways they were doing it, but they're going to blockchain as well. So a lot of companies are leaving, but whoever gets in first, you have a higher chance, and then it requires more and more and more to inject. And so right now that's why you're seeing all this kind of stuff. So let's move on to the gunk. Let me read some of the comments on the gunk. So the gunk is a fairly boring game to me. Now I want to make sure people understand, I don't think the gunk is bad. I gave it a Game Pass or rent, I guess. Deep sale. The Game Pass doesn't have any gameplay, though. And So you basically just walk forward. There's something there. You push a button. You move forward again. There's 2 ways to go. You can't go left, so you go right to push a button to go back left. That's it for the game. And to me, Ethan Carter, even as a walking simulator, had much more than that. It had you worrying about puzzles. And here you could call it a puzzle, but it's really just go right, because that's the only way you can go. And you slide a slide, which opens up left, or you suck some gunk, which lets you through. That's it for the game. These are some of the comments. Tommy B says, I didn't listen when you said Medium wasn't that much fun, and I was a bit of a dick. I just came back to the channel, saw your gunk review, and wanted to apologize for being a twat. I tried the gunk for an hour or so, but it bored me to death. The Medium was terrible too after I downloaded it. But anyways, this is a long-winded way of me saying sorry, but also, do you feel that this might be a slight change due to the pandemic? People with more time and subscription services on top of expectations slightly being lowered. Thanks, ? I'm going to read all these and then we'll just discuss. Yabsap says, okay, what gives? Almost nothing happens in the gunk ever. It's barely a game. Where are the systems? Why did you not rate it a never touch? We'll talk about that. Goodman says, Gunk is not a good game, but I was bored, so I played it anyway. What other games are good when you're wanting to walk around and do nothing? And we'll get to the thanks. We'll get to the top 3 in a second. So those were some of the comments I got. I did get some people who liked it as a walking game. But one of the things that surprised me was I do sort of understand where that person's coming from about the pandemic. I have noticed, and I noticed with the Medium, it's funny they mention the Medium, because I noticed that for some people at least, their requirements are going down. And I don't necessarily have a big issue with that. Like it won't be my thing. I'll just continue to rate what I rate. But I thought people would be more worried about money. But it almost feels like people have more time, so therefore they're okay with filling the time. I mean, brutally honest,
they're looking for a time sink.
They're looking for a time sink. And I had a lot of people saying this is a chill game, and then I was like, well, what's the game? And they're like, well, there isn't a game. It's a chill walking. I like the look of the world, so I'm just walking, but it's not. Do you guys believe that's pandemic? Do you believe it's nothing? Do you believe it's something? Go ahead.
It's certainly in part of it is probably owed to that, yeah, especially because people are probably more prone to look toward escapism now, even than before, and that a game that just allows you to immerse yourself in it and just walk around and not have to stress or worry about particular objectives or stuff like that can be a nice change of pace for some people, I think. So I could see that.
Reg, Johnny, anything to add to that?
Well, I actually think it's a mark of the time that people sometimes want less from the game so that they have a bit more bandwidth to, for example, listen to a podcast or watch something on the side or listen to something on the side. I've kind of observed this a lot where people enjoy this type of game a lot rather than a game that demands of them like their full attention, you know? I don't know if that made sense, but it's something I've kind of been noticing with the social media, you know, everybody's always mainlining data and stuff like that. And a game that allows them to continue to do so while playing mindlessly seems to actually kind of like Forza Horizon 5. I've heard from some people that, you know, they're just doing races while listening to stuff.
Almost like defragging.
Yeah.
Running 2 processes. What about you, Reg?
I'm not sure it's really anything to do with the pandemic, but more like Johnny was saying, I think it's a game to play on the side while you're doing other stuff, kind of like clicker games or anything like idle brain games like that.
What's weird to me is that this has less going on than a clicker game by a good amount. It's got less going on than Hero Loop. Loop Hero?
Loop Hero.
And so the reason why I thought maybe it had to do with the pandemic is because people have more time. Some people are at home. Some people are working from home. They have more time available because they're more efficient, maybe less efficient, what have you. And what I was thinking is, you know, you're just sitting there and you're more open to clicking a game. And Game Pass as a subscription allows you to do that.
Yeah.
So there's sort of like this slick move into these kind of games because as I was playing it, I was like, Well, to give you an example, one of the Discord people said, this is the first game I've ever played while I was so high that I could barely walk. I could still figure it out. And I was like, damn, son. And they're like, yeah, there is nothing in this game.
Was that a takedown comment?
No, it was not. It was not. It was not. Funny enough, that it was not takedown. But I don't know, man. I mean, I think also socially, you see a lot of people saying, hey, don't diss on this. So, like, let's say a developer release a bad game. People are like, don't yell at the developers. It must be the publishers, right? Which doesn't really capture the truth, but whatever. You know, that's one way of looking at it. It's always someone above. It's always got to be a person above. I think that we are getting to a time where people are just more like negative. If you're already living in a negative environment, life-wise, right? Things are rough for a lot of people. Then I just think people's expectations are a little lower. I definitely noticed that with the Medium, because now I have people coming back and being like, holy shit, dude, the Medium really is bad. And I'm like, yeah. And they were the ones, like that person said, I went back and looked. He was calling me like dickhead and all this. He's a patron, by the way. And I was like, whoa, you know, I do believe that right now the world, I mean, people don't get it because you're in it, but dude, the world's, I mean, this is a massive change. We'll talk about it for hundreds of years if we're around.
Yeah.
So I think, I mean,
that's a big if.
It's a big if, right? NFTs will destroy the environment and we'll just all choke to death on the dust.
If we don't kill ourselves over some other trivial shit.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just an interesting discussion to have. And I think that it makes sense. I have no problem upholding that if something isn't the greatest. But I do think that the zeitgeist for a lot of people's changing. It's almost like when we sit here and talk about NFTs and we're like, we hate them, you should too. But 90% of humanity doesn't watch this podcast, 99.9%, right? Those guys will. Those guys are the NBA, 2K, whatever, buying skins and beards for beard dye for their character.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, those games.
You
are
can
just
buy
waiting
beards.
for it.
Those games are mania, aren't they? At this point,
Yeah.
So.
Dude, Johnny, you not only could you buy hair in that game, you had to pay the fee every time you wanted to. Change it.
Yeah, and your beard and your hair were different fees. It's ridiculous.
God.
It was ridiculous. It was amazing. In a way, it was sort of cool because you were like, whoa, they're pushing their luck. Wizard of
they
Smoke.
went all out.
Oh, dude, they did. Wizard of Smoke, $5 super chat. Merry Christmas. So happy Xbox gave me Firewatch. Yeah. Firewatch. The game is so zen, but has as many F-bombs as a Scorsese film.
Yeah, it's a cool game.
Does it have F-bombs?
It is.
I don't remember that.
I remember it having pretty natural dialogue between the two. I think they
There you
talked
go.
very like naturally. And so, yeah, I think there were some F-bombs.
Anyway, so it's an interesting discussion to have. Just remember that, everybody's going to feel different about stuff. But, yeah, it's been, I don't know, as we roll into February, it's going to be even more interesting to see how everything works out and what people's expectations are for some of these big games. I think a lot of games are going to move, though.
One expensive month.
Oh, man.
How many games are there over 10? Probably over 10 AA.
Well, also
right?
now the Steam Deck releasing in that month.
Ah, dude.
I also learned that Evolving Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires is also coming February. Yeah.
one more for the pile.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it's cool. I think I don't know, man. I would like to see people looking at March and April, but it will be one of the most interesting months ever in games. If all those release, it'll be interesting because it'll be who does what reviews. Because I'm somebody who will be like, I will stay up 80 hours to do 2 reviews. I have no issue with that. But even I am looking at that going, something's got to give. Because something will give. It'll give just because my mind will miss I've missed deadlines before when it's super busy and looked at my notes and been like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Go ahead. Were you going to read some?
I was just looking through the list and like trying to recognize big name titles, and
from Horizon to Warhammer 3, alone.
Elden Ring.
Yeah,
dude.
I too.
Elden Ring.
It's gonna be great, man. I'm excited for it. Like I'm excited for it.
It's basically King of the Hill that month.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so funny because it's February, which is like No, it's just January of last year or the year before. January of this year had Hitman, right? Or was that Feb? January.
Or January last year.
Jan. No, this year.
No, this year
Hitman
for
3
Hitman
was
3.
January this
Well,
year.
no, oh yeah, we haven't entered the new year yet.
Yeah, right. You're
Yeah.
close though. You're like, please just get us to 2022. Can we just go?
Yeah, I was
Alright.
already there in my mind.
Yeah. But you look at all these, it's exciting because there is Game Pass, right? So some people are going to get some games on Game Pass third party, blah, blah, blah. There'll be deals, there'll be all this stuff. But one cool thing is everybody's going to experience serious FOMO because it's impossible to not, right?
Yeah.
But I do believe and I do hope that people will then realize FOMO isn't that bad. And they'll be, after February, probably I would say a normal gamer's bandwidth is only going to be 2 or 3 games, 4 to 5 if somebody is a gamer, right? There's still more games than that. So everybody's going to have FOMO from everybody else. Everybody's not going to be able to discuss something else. It's going to be like an ant hive. And I've always been such a fan of chaos. Like since I was a little kid. Family reunions where everything's going nuts. Emergencies, that's what I used to do. I like that. And I like it because I personally believe idle hands are pretty bad. And if somebody has a lot of time, that's when they start bitching. You know, and this will be the time when everybody's just going to be like, this game is good, this game is not, I like this game, I don't like this game. And, you know, they'll be trying to get into some place and talk bad about a game, but they'll be like, oh, but I actually like this game over here. And so they'll go over here and talk about, and I have noticed at times when it's super busy that overall it's a more positive environment for gaming. It really is. It's a more positive environment for discussion because those people who maybe want to sit and look at pixels with Digital Foundry and zoom in 400% and be like, Dad, look at your teraflop console now. It's missing a a pixel right here in the corner that's green. Oh my God. Now you can be like, dude, that person doesn't have time because they're playing 2 other games or 3 other games or 4 other games. I'm not saying that trolls will not win out. I'm not an idiot. I'm just saying that there will be less. And I like that. Colin Bright, $5 super chat. Keep it up. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I wish Elden Ring stays, but everything else is delayed so we can have 1 per month. Oh, I got you. You wish some stuff moved around.
1 per month? Yeah, no.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that's one thing maybe people will learn.
Chooses?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
The fact
people
that
will learn FOMO's
well,
okay.
I was going to say that, the fact that the game, let's say, how can I explain this? Coming back to a game maybe a month later, that's fine, right? Some people are like, nah, that's an old game. It doesn't have the shine of something that just came out. It's like it's still a bang-ass game. You just didn't get a chance to get to it. And now some people will be forced to get to those games later.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm really excited I can't wait until somebody's like, what about? And there's that. I love that. Even in our Discord, when everybody's going off. For example, Ghost of Tsushima was probably the last one. When it was just on fire inside of the Discord. Where it was like, people posted pictures, I like that. I like that where you can't keep up. I mean, admittedly, that's how I like my life. I like my life always slightly out of control. I always have. I like it when you're at your peak and you have to deliver and you have to know, like if you're playing that game, you know another game's coming out. Guess what? When you jump to it, more people will jump to it as well because they also chose the game you chose. And that's cool. We'll leach into March, April maybe. And these are the games we know about, people. These are the fucking games we know about. Is there
Can I ask you a quick question?
Still all the indie games.
Oh,
we stop, dude. Not only that, AA. I mean, there's something in there. I'm sure we've all missed. Werewolf 2, Blood, or whatever. I'm just joking.
I would love another Werewolf.
So would I. I'd play it. Okay, what were you saying, Johnny?
I was just gonna ask you quickly because I know for you, if you don't catch a game like on release, it doesn't make as much sense for you to play it fully, do a review, and all that. So, assuming you won't be able to get to everything, will you be able to return to a couple of those games later, or will it still not make sense for the channel to do a review on those?
Nothing makes sense on the channel right now. Nothing.
It's a mess.
Nothing makes sense.
Good.
It's ridiculous. So going back doesn't bother me. I have a person who helped me edit a couple weeks ago, but they didn't want to do Halo. They were like, dude, Halo is like, I don't want any spoilers, so don't send me footage for Halo. You do the review. Yeah, I'm going to try, but no one watches them. But you know what? I started looking at this and I was like, no one watches them because they're new. Like the Know Your Enemy or Meet Your Heroes videos. It was just because people are like, it's not a review. That's not what I'm watching Karak for. I'm not going to watch this. And then over time, more people return to it, or somebody watched it, or we talk about it in here. So I'm okay with that. It is hard. You have to almost be like a movie star where like Bruce Willis will do a amazing movie and then 5 terrible ones. It's like if he just stopped because he had terrible ones, you would just have one good movie. And it's hard as a YouTuber because you'll look at your numbers and be like, okay, the crowd doesn't want that. I must do something else. I've now looked at it and been like, I'm already doing the reviews I would be doing. So to me, yeah, I'm going to return. I don't know how I'll cover them. I love covering them in the podcast, which, by the way, last podcast actually did fairly well numbers-wise. I just left it up. I was just like, whatever. I'm just going to leave this on. I'm not going to worry about anything. Leave it up, and it did pretty well. Podcasts where we can cover these, I think, are going to be important. But yeah, I'll cover them in some way. It's a lot of money to hire a,
Oh yeah.
I'm not. I saw Co Carnage was like,
something?
Co Carnage just put a thing on Twitter. He's like, hey man, I need an editor. Blah blah blah. I talked, and then at the end, about 3 tweets in, he's like, oh, by the way, this is going to be full paid, like whatever the term is, a full time, full paid. I'll do, and I'm just like, I'm not even full time, and I'm full time. Like how the fuck? Well, it's obviously one of the biggest.
You're talking like $2,000 or whatever it may be for
more than that
per month.
In America, it's double that.
It is more.
It would be double.
Wow.
Yeah, at minimum. Gabriel Martinez, $4.99 super chat, didn't say anything, so we'll just say hello to you. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
And Derek, Master Chief, Meet Your Heroes. Oh, that'd be a fun one. I almost did a Master Chief Meet Your Heroes. Strangely enough, something happened. Oh, my dad. Yeah, so yeah, that's on me. I'll try to get back in there. But yeah, we'll cover it. So speaking about February, I just wanted to ask real quick: is there any one game, and anybody in chat, is there any one game that you're for sure getting?
Yeah, Warhammer 3.
Warhammer 3. Reg?
Oh.
I'll have to look through the list again.
Okay, Johnny, I'm sure I know.
So far for me, I mean, Elden Ring, everybody knows. Yada,
Right.
yada. I love Elden Ring. Also, Dying Light 2 looked excellent in the gameplay that I saw, man.
It's true. It's true that, man.
Woo.
It's true that. Dying Light 2 is stepping up. World War 3, Dying Light 2, Elden Ring. Oh my God, Horizon's in there too.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about... Although, that one is the water level Horizon, so...
There we go. Yeah.
No, I'm sure it'll be great, man.
Is Horizon yours, Reg? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Because I was looking at Elix 2 is March 1st, so that's already out of February.
Right.
So it's Horizon. Yeah. Horizon and the Steam Deck.
Hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully we get our Steam Decks.
Well, the last was that Valve is fairly confident that they will not have another delay. We'll see.
Right, but I'm thinking more just the production itself. Like that. Does that make sense? Like they'll be shipping them out. I just don't know if I'll be first in line to get,
Right.
So especially
I was just
also
wondering-
because infection numbers are going through the roof at the moment, like everywhere.
They are. Speaking of that, it finally broke here in Oregon, in America, and the new one, what is Omicron?
Yeah, Omicron.
Transformer names, Omicron.
I'm
Galvatron.
always thinking of like Futurama, Omicron Persei 8.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's but it broke here, and it broke some of my like extended
Exactly.
family got it, and they got it fast. Like it was just like it's not as bad supposedly for them at least. Destiny 2, the Witch Queen. Destiny 2's got a release in there.
Yeah, that's an expansion release. Yeah.
Expansion.
Well, we know how Destiny
Sons
goes.
of bitches, man.
Side
That's a
expansion.
lot. Omicron, the Nomad Soul. What a game. Who is that? Grandmaster? We're best friends. Fist bump. Dude, I love Omicron. I love Omicron. I love that game. Let's see. Horizon, maybe. Horizon, Dying Light 2, Horizon, and Sifu. Oh, Sifu's it. Yeah. I think, man, Sifu needs to move because Sifu's, from what I played on the preview, really, I think it's good, but God, that's hard to keep up, right? That's a hard game to.
You wouldn't want to be going up against. It's like if I put out a video the same day that Ko puts out a video on the same topic, I'm fucked.
Yeah,
right? Like
unless you get in his recommends, and then you're not. But yeah, you're right. What about Silver? Other than Warhammer, any in there?
Yeah, I mean, lots. I'm interested
Dying Light
in
2?
Horizon. I'm interested in Dying Light 2. I'm interested in Horizon, in Elden Ring as well. Yeah.
Necro just reminded me. Sifu was the one that undelayed. Remember? I forgot. It moved 2 weeks forward into February.
Right. Yeah.
That's some balls, dude. They're like, you know what?
Dude,
I'm
Sifu,
going
though,
in.
Sifu does what Sleeping Dogs did okay. So Sleeping Dogs had you have the environmental interactions, but you like grab somebody around the head and walk them to an air conditioner. The cool thing about Sifu is if there's something nearby, it just sort of does it. It knows to like interact with the environment. So
did you ever play the Jason Bourne game? Bourne.
Jason, but no, I haven't played a Jason Bourne game.
It was for like the 360 and PlayStation 3. It was basically kind of its own thing, kind of a prequel to the Bourne Identity.
Mm-hmm.
It had a really, really fun melee system, like really fun like melee showdowns with like almost like boss characters where you had like environmental stuff for the martial arts. That was really kinetic and really satisfying.
Yeah, it was funny because I don't know if you saw, but Matt Damon was asked if he wanted to do that.
Yeah, the Bourne Conspiracy. Yeah,
he was asked if he wanted to make that game, and he was like, he didn't want a bunch of guns in it. And they were like, okay, thanks for your input, and made it without him. I love it. Let's see. Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne. I don't know what that means. Let's see. Born Again, Bourne Conspiracy. Any love for Anachronics? Of course. Anachronics is one of the best RPGs. It is one of the best RPGs. It's pretty crunchy now, but Anachronics is. That wasn't Warren Spector. It was the other one, right? It wasn't. Who did Anachronics? It wasn't Warren Spector. I can't remember, but that game was awesome, man.
Wasn't it that fish company?
Fish company?
The fish company.
No, it wasn't. Iron Storm.
Oh,
it was Spectre. Then.
It was Spectre? I think. Was it?
I mean, it would have been if it was Iron Storm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, true. Older Pro. Alpha Protocol. Sorry, I was reading this. Zero says, especially older folk who perhaps have diminished physical abilities will be given a renewed agency in their lives. For what? For what, Zero? Do you mean because young people are dying? I don't know what he means. I expect half the games expected in the second half of 2022 to be delayed out of it. True. Right? Wouldn't we expect that? I think there will be some delays in February. Some pretty big delays. We'll just have to see. The metaverse.
Yeah.
One metaverse will rule them all anyway. Right? I'm just joking, by the way. By the way, it is so weird. That's another thing. Metaverse. People talk about the metaverse and they aren't saying it right. It's metaverses, and that's the biggest issue. There's like 9 now. They're all completely separate, made by different companies. And they all suck donkey balls.
Wait, so the Facebook one is in metaverse?
Yeah, so the thing, but it's all, the metaverse is the termed. It's like cyberpunk is cyberpunk, but cyberpunk is used as the term cyberpunk, even though, you get my drift? So what's going on is people are like the metaverse thinking it's one place. Reg is going to go, I'm going to go, fuck that. It's an MMO, basically. It's Elder Scrolls and Final Fantasy, just different companies doing different things. They're not merged at all. And
well, I mean, if you want to go with existing things, it's Second Life.
Yeah, Second Life is the one. Second Life is the metaverse. And Second Life, admittedly, is the metaverse. It's done very well. It's continued to go on. In fact, Second Life is the proper metaverse. I mean, it's been around for ages doing all the things that the metaverse is saying they'll do. Second Life has been doing it for a decade. Yep. We have a person in our Discord. She doesn't talk much. Humidifying Cream is her username. She's been around for years, and she doesn't say a lot in the Discord, but she's a huge Second Life fan. Massive, like goes there. There's chat rooms. There's everybody getting together. It's basically your Twitter, your Discord, everything in a Second Life chat room, and then people sell you land.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I find that funny, but the idea of selling
animations,
land,
other stuff,
everything. Yes.
Let's see.
What they're trying to push with NFTs yet also. Like for ages there. And you can resell your stuff, so it is everything already.
For sure. You absolutely can. What do we got for topics? We've just we've been riffing on. Well, okay, no. Before we go to topics, real quick, is there any big surprises or any really really cool or terrible, I guess, 2021 stuff we want to break down? Let's not ignore. Let's acknowledge, but move on. We know about the political stuff and all the stupid shit going on in Activision. And not only Activision. Let's make that clear.
No.
Everywhere. But what about games themselves, the end product? Is there anything that sticks out in 2021?
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about this, I think, over the course of the year, but what's really stood out to me has been just the quality of the indie games that we've seen every single week.
Yeah.
Has just been so high. Like you asked in the Discord the other day, what's the worst game you've played this year? And really, I don't think I've really played a game I would say was bad this year. I guess it's just been really fun to see all these like experimenting with ideas, including with our current indie game of the week, like trying new systems, new ideas, interesting art styles, like and showing how much you can do with just a simple premise if you focus on it right. What that can do for a game compared to some of these larger bloated AAA titles. It's just been really, really fun to see where indie games are at the moment.
Reg, Johnny, anything in
Well,
particular?
I'll add to that just how many good games I've played this year. I was, doing my like top 5 list. And so I was looking at all the games that came out this year that I played. And I had a list of 12 games, all of which I really enjoyed. So there wasn't one of them that I was like, didn't really like at all. Even games like Biomutant, where I was a bit like a lukewarm beer. You would drink it under certain circumstances, not amazing, okay, but still like enjoyable in its own way. So 12 games for me, that's a lot in a year because I've played many other games that didn't come out this year. So those were only the ones that came. So I was surprised by just how many. I think it's easy to forget sometimes.
What about you,
Unless
Reg?
you look back.
Anything that sticks out?
For me, it's a huge mix. I can't really separate in my mind which games came out this year. So I will say the stuff that I discovered this year, one of the biggest ones was the choice of games, like all of them.
Yeah, it's pretty. And I don't know about you, Reg, but when I find a new genre that I like, there's this giddiness because it's new, and there's just so much. You can be like, what do I want to do? Which game? And yeah.
And now that I have them on my watch list and on my radar, like they're releasing a new book every 2 weeks or so, like it constantly pops up.
Yeah, for me, I would say it is weird that Hitman 3 came out in January, and we all think it's like a full, 2 years ago because like, there's that many good games. There's some bad ones, but I think my big surprises, and I'm going to do some videos, but I think a big surprise would be like Guardians of the Galaxy to me.
Yes.
Which was just
especially after our early impressions of that.
Exactly. And just like, whoa, what the hell? Like this is actually it just continues to do more versus less, which is what I was expecting of a AAA game like let's say Outriders, where it does exactly as little as you expected. There's all these things. I think, some people said bad ones would be 2042. I think you could make a case for 2042 being easily, like I put it in my disappointing list, a disappointment because even so often regurgitated as Battlefield is, this is the first one where they really failed on the core basic parts of Battlefield, where you're like, wow, they failed before, but they failed everywhere in this one, where you're just like what?
Yeah, true. I mean, like, what was it? Battlefield Hardline or something?
Exactly.
Which was pretty much disliked when it came out.
Yeah.
But even that was like 10 times the game that 2042
and had still good shooting. This one, the shooting even feels weird. You're just like, what? Everything about it just, and so I get why people might think that, I do. I get it for sure. Craig Jackson, $4.99. Predict the sales ranking out of Elden Ring, Horizon Forbidden West, Dying Light 2.
Oh, okay. Dying
Sales
Light 2 is third.
Elden Ring's 1. Boy, I don't know. Yeah, Elden Ring's 1 because Elden Ring will be on PC and
true.
PS.
Right, you would add up all the sales.
Or is Elden Ring also Xbox?
I don't know.
That I'm not sure.
But
It's not Xbox yet.
It's not
I don't
Xbox
think.
yet. Regardless, I think Elden Ring, just because it's
Yeah, I'm not sure actually.
and PC
'Cause,
gamers are
Sekiro
going
was.
to be all over. Yeah, exactly. PC gamers are going to be all over it. So that's
no,
how I
it's
see it.
also Xbox.
Oh, okay.
Oh. There you go.
Yep. So that works. Yeah. I think just due to sheer numbers, Horizon will be 2. But Dying Light 2,
No.
as we get closer,
But
Dying Light
Horizon
2
is only
on
PlayStation 5 though. but
exactly.
still, yeah.
I was just saying, that's what I was getting to is like looking at these and the platforms are on. Since Dying Light 2 is getting good, whatever, and it's on all it could easily be 2,
Could be a ball game. Yeah.
which is awesome because if they all turn out good, which God forbid one of those doesn't, because it's going to be the laughing stock because they've all been either delayed or they're backed by huge companies or they've got massive companies behind them. If any of them sucked, it's going to be rough. Somebody said Horizon Forbidden West is also on PlayStation 4.
Yeah,
True.
Elden Ring is on everything
yeah.
basically. It's previous gen, current gen, both systems, and
Not on the
PC.
Switch though.
Well,
Nintendo
that's why I
tears.
said both systems.
Missed out on the Switch. Max says, $5 super chat. Thank you
Right.
for the super chats, people. It definitely helps the channel. Indie game Rollers of the Realm, which is a pinball RPG, is excellent.
Oh.
Haven't heard of
Pinball
that one.
RPG. Look at that.
I dig
Yeah.
the occasional pinball game. Occasional.
What are the stats like an RPG? Like
Oh, you know what,
that's
dude?
interesting.
What would be
I mean,
cool is
you-
if you had the ability to like add bumpers. Like if
I
you
don't
leveled
know,
up.
Just looking at screenshots,
Sure.
like you have
It-
the gold
it
stat
might-
and the score stats and the mana pool. So I don't know.
Okay.
Could also be like some of those puzzle games like Clash of Heroes that are basically where there's a story and you walk around and then you engage in a battle. That's then like the pinball.
Yeah. Oh,
minigame
true.
or
I get
whatever.
what you're saying. Derek says, $5 super chat. Think a lot of people bought Sekiro even if they didn't play it too far. Yeah, I think this is me. I believe that Sekiro wasn't as good as people were, or wasn't as easily gotten into as maybe some people had hoped. Some people had thought it was just going to be a Dark Souls, where it
Right.
was just the one thing that they had to worry about. And Sekiro, whether you're good at it or not, we can all agree there was multiple things, and those multiple things could change. And so it was a little, and then you got the arts later, and you're like, there's a lot. So I would say that Sekiro, a lot of people probably bought that and don't have a lot of time in it. I would
agree,
love to
but
see the stats on that.
wasn't that the game that kind of brought the Souls into like mainstream? Didn't it become like pretty mainstream after Sekiro?
I mean, it won like
One game,
game
of the year.
Yeah, I think before
for a lot of
that-
outlets.
I think before that, games like DS3 were,
I would
fairly
say
niche in comparison.
I would say
No?
DS3 started it, Johnny, because
Okay,
DS3 was smoothed. DS3 felt like the
And
proper
friendly,
Dark
too.
Souls. Yeah, and even if it did get difficult, there was a tracking you could do in that game. You can even do a
Yes.
tracking in Neo, even if you're getting your ass kicked. You can track it. But Sekiro, dude, like, I'm not saying I'm amazing, but I can get through a Dark Souls game if I put my focus on it. But even I was
Yeah,
like, what is
Sekiro
going
was-
on? Like,
was
there was a
fucked.
lot to
Yeah.
balance in that, or to bounce off of. And if you're not going to bounce off of it, you probably enjoy it. But if you are going to bounce off, there was more with Sekiro I think you could bounce off of, because it didn't give you a lot. It's almost like Dark Souls. I knew what I was going to unlock or get as I continued to play. With Sekiro, I didn't. Like, a new tab would open up with arts, and some people never got there. Like, some never
Right.
got there. They just didn't get there. Where in a lot of games, I think it was a little bit easier. FromSoft games are loved way more, but sell less. Well, I mean, that's what we're talking about. It's just that this is the first one that I think embraces the casual audience. Even if it's not going to be a casual game, I personally didn't think it was as hard as the other games. So we'll have
It's
to
also
see. But I
getting
think Elden Ring,
marketed a lot more than even like Sekiro
way
was.
past it, yeah. You know why, too? Because it's that Euro fantasy where it's easier to get into than just, like an Asian fantasy.
Yeah,
Like, I
and
think
with
it's
the
just
open
easier
world
for a lot of
stuff,
people
it's a
to
bit-
get into.
yeah.
And the open world, horses leaping, horses platforming.
Right.
We should do 12 Days of Christmas. 12 horses leaping. It was just weird shit goes on in Elden Ring. And it looks beautiful, and I think people buy for graphics too. Sekiro looked good, but it didn't look like Elden Ring. Elden Ring's gone a step above, like in looks, I think. Well, let's see. Sekiro's like Dark Souls, but somebody else chooses your build.
Looking at
at
the Steam stats, it looks like roughly 15 to 20% completed Sekiro.
And compared to what?
Just of the players who have the game installed.
No, I mean compared to the other Dark Souls games.
I don't have the stats for those. I could look up the stats for Dark Souls 3.
La Barba says 32% of players beated Sekiro's final boss on Steam. I like beated.
Yeah, I mean that's impressive. I would say 32%. Last boss was.
Unless 100 people bought it.
Oh yeah.
No, I mean that. I mean, like that does matter.
Yeah,
it's like the percentage matters when you look at the number.
A lot of people refunded like before the 2 hours. They're like, "Fuck this."
Dude, man, I remember in Sekiro the first part. Like there's this one part. It was prior to the ogre, and I remember I can tell what people will find difficult. Even if I don't find it difficult, I'll be like, because I know my friends and I have a bigger group of friends. I know most gamers will be like, this timing could be difficult, blah, blah, blah. And I remember playing Sekiro and laughing to myself. Laughing like a child, just being like, oh man, a good number of people aren't going to want to get past this part. Like these guys are just one just a little too close together or whatever. And, somebody's going to have to learn this prior to knowing
one
that.
Too many fat men in the group for them to, yeah.
I loved it though. Jesus, thank you. $20. Love you guys. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy New Year to everybody. The Chained Ogre man. PTSD. Thank you, SBZ. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That Chained Ogre will be in my DNA. If I have kids, they will have a weird innate fear for a Chained Ogre. That
I'll tell you what, man, the grabs in that game are fucked.
They're so
often
awesome.
in that game, they're going to grab you, and you're completely not in position to be grabbed, but they somehow snap to you. And it's not just the ogre. The ogre is one of the worst offenders.
He's just one of the first that you are like, oh, whoa. Yeah, it was. I don't think it was difficult either. Somebody saying the time focus on timing. I actually don't think it was that like overtly difficult. It was just more complex, and it had some fucked up animations that have now been patched. A lot of those, the Chained Ogre has been patched. I mean, the Chained Ogre was so bad. I remember DMing them, and they were like, oh, yeah. Lady Butterfly was much harder. Yeah, Lady Butterfly was a bitch. I remember... Man. Dude, there's Neo 1, Neo 2, and Sekiro all have character.
I think
full boss.
The ogre was more of a mini boss, and where she was more of a full boss.
Yeah.
Well, they were both full bosses, just, I think, earlier in the game.
No.
Kind of
the Chained Ogre I'm talking about was a mini boss. He's just up on the hill, and he's within other people. Lady Butterfly was her own thing, and Lady Butterfly, dude, Lady Butterfly was so cool though, because I had to get by it or I couldn't review the game. And once you did, your skill level was so high compared to what it was when you had first met her. Because you had to fight her and learn things that you just hadn't had, and so. It was such a cool skill gate because you came out of it and you're like, haha, I didn't learn shit from the Chained Ogre. In fact, I glitched him to beat him. I glitched him by rubbing up against a wall. Mike, $10 super chat. Here's another 10 Canadian dollars. Did any of you guys like the Friday at Freddy series?
Never played.
Not particularly, no.
Interesting. Okay, gotcha. What about you, Johnny?
No, never got into it.
Wow.
The whole jump scare thing, boring to me. Sorry to say.
I would say I like it. I haven't got a chance to play them all, but I played one or two and really enjoyed them. James Sparks, ACG led me to Disco Elysium, and for this I will forever be indebted to your channel. The game is too good for us mortals. Yes, it is, Johnny. What do you think, Johnny, about Disco Elysium? Talking about bouncing off a game, right,
you know
Johnny?
what? I might give it another shot now because I have a long holiday.
Oh,
talking about that game.
Yeah,
good mention. It's currently like $7 on the Epic Store.
Woo!
There you go.
Woo! Lucitan Gaming says Disco Elysium is the reason I just got banned from Karak's Discord because I said it was bad. He didn't say that, but I'm quick enough to change what he said. Dude, Disco Elysium is out there. Even if you don't like it, you got to admit it's out there.
Yeah.
Plus, you don't need to read it anymore. It's being read to you. It's an audiobook, basically.
And by a good by a really good voiceover
cast.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird because it should be a game that I absolutely adore, but it's a game that I thoroughly admire rather than adore.
No, that makes... Dude, there's a lot there that you might bounce off of, too, because it starts to get into weird politics and stuff, and,
right.
That might bounce you faster than it might bounce somebody else.
Oh, it does, and it gets very wordy in those things. Yeah.
It's such a fucking weird game.
Here's a
I died by reading the book,
times.
and I was like, I read a book and died? What's happening? I was so... Dude,
yeah, that did hook
funny.
me initially. Like I was 3 seconds into the game and I died pulling the
thing off
activating the fan.
Yeah, off the fan, and you're like, geez, what's happening right here? I can see why some people would be like, whatever, but to me,
I found that quite funny.
Yeah. What were you saying, Johnny? I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Were you saying something? Or you were Reg? Uh-oh. Did I ruin it?
I lost it. No, it's fine. It has some very cool moments that I got to in my.
What if?
I thought, that's.
Would you play it if Reg, myself, and Silver did the voiceovers? What if I was the chaotic? Silver was the thoughtful, and Reg was the fun, and we just read the various different skills for you and did the voiceovers. That would be amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, it would, bro.
That would be fun to do. Alan Stevens, $20 super chat. Welcome, Alan. I had zero interest in playing Plague Tale, but saw your great review and gave it a chance. Amazing game with beautiful artwork. Even my FPS Twitch gamer son loved it after seeing me play it. Thanks for the recommendation. Dude, we're getting a number 2 to so many good games.
Yeah.
I hope I hope fucking Plague Tale doesn't ruin it. I hope Hellblade doesn't ruin it. Please don't go nuts. Like, do you know why Hellblade worked? Because it wasn't undigestible, man.
Exactly.
That I love open world, but not every game needs to be.
And because it also worked because it didn't have, the scales were small. Like, it was about Senua. It wasn't about saving the world.
Yeah, exactly. It was about her.
Or killing gods or whatever. It was about her, and her journey.
Yeah.
Dude, I cannot.
Mm-hmm.
I can wait because I'm worried.
Yeah.
I'm worried they'll go. Dude, Plague Tale and Greedfall are 2 games that I'm so nervous on their sequels. Did I just let something slip?
I was just going to say, I didn't know Greedfall 2. I don't want to push
If there's a Greedfall 2.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically, if there's a Greedfall 2. I'm sure we all know there's probably going to be a Greed. We'll just go with that. So if there's a Greedfall 2, I believe that there's a high chance they can fuck them up. And that's, that's disturbing to me because you could tell I was having a good time in the Plague Tale review. Like, I was having a hilarious time pretending to whisper to the 2 characters because they whispered through that entire game. They're like, go over here, go over there. Why don't you guys fucking just move? Like, there was all these whispers, but it was so fun. Those are the type of games that I'm such a big fan of, and I worry that they try to do the AAA thing, They get too big for like movies, where their sequel comes out.
Yeah, it's almost like you have to up the ante because it's a sequel. So you got to do more than the original game. But then that's also a trap because sometimes
you kind of lose
simplicity
sight
of the formula.
What made the original successful.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I can tell you guys right now, let's talk about sequels for a second. Elix 2 ain't forgot nothing about Elix 1. They're just like, let's just have jankiness, but with jetpacks. And I don't know if that's going to work, but I can tell you that the people who liked Elix 1 will probably like 2 because it's not trying to save the world. I mean, you are like a typical hero game, but it's not trying to completely, run perfectly. Look how many flesticles and our polygons we can have. And you're like, who fucking cares?
But I mean, the faces look pretty good.
Dude, the faces on some of those characters look phenomenal. Better than AAA games, but some of them don't. It is weird that you're married to Aloy. It looks like Aloy. Like, I don't know if that person
Discount
didn't
Aloy.
realize. Dude,
Discount-
look at the trailer. I even cover it in my preview. It's Aloy, man. I don't know. Like, that's your wife. You have a kid with her. What else do we got for 2021? So we talked about just good games. Oh, I was going to say, I think also just community, because this year's been like some people you wouldn't talk to because they'd be doing their jobs or whatever, and now they're working from home, so they may be on Discord, you know what I mean? And you get to talk, and you get to, I think that we've lost some people, but it's been pretty cool because some people who don't talk a lot have started to talk, which I find. And I don't mean that the people who used to talk have gone away. It's just that you get people who are like, oh, hey, I can talk now because I'm usually doing this, but now I work from home, or I'm usually traveling, but we can't travel. And finding out new things about people and where somebody, and just being like, wait, you know, where are you from, or what games do you like, and being suggested a new game out of the blue or whatever. So community for me has been one of the best things, being able to meet the Iron Lords guys, have them on. You know, we don't do as many invites just because as much as I used to. I'm going to get back onto that, but you know, having them on, getting to do Dutch's podcast, and it's been very positive. Some of the angst is gone, I think, and I don't know why, but it feels like some of the troubled, yeah, I don't even know how to describe it, but it feels like another thing is, I think a lot of people in the past would be like, oh, everybody, even the most caustic individuals should have a chance to be caustic. And we chose in the Discord, we're like, no, that's not going to happen. We're not going to be that way. And it seems like everybody I've talked to has also chosen that. I was talking to the Iron Lords guys, and they're like, dude, if somebody's caustic, they're gone. Like, they're just gone. They're gone. And I think there's this coolness that starts to pop up where it's like, you know, they may gather somewhere else, but it won't be there infecting us. And the communities have been great, man. Been really cool. It's been a great year, man. It's been very cool to see people, even just on Twitter. Even though, you know, that's open to everybody and get some weird shit. What do we got for topics? Let's go with indie game. Because you were excited about this indie game, right, Silver? Like, in particular, it felt like you were excited about this one.
I mean, it has a really interesting concept.
What is it?
It's a 2D audio platformer. You control your character with, I mean, as you normally control a platformer, but you engage with puzzles and stuff, but through your microphone, through singing, actually. Singing in various pitches.
What's it called?
It is called clapping, or sorry.
No, it's all right.
Red just looking it up.
Zoned out on the title at the moment. One-handed clapping, I think.
One-hand clapping.
Yeah. And as I said to Johnny, no, that is not a euphemism for masturbation. Because I suspected his mind might go there. It is a fun game. Like, you have to engage puzzles like raise and lower platforms with the use of your voice.
Octaves and stuff?
Yeah, get flowers to open up so you can awesome. So you can jump on them and stuff, and interact with the environment through using your voice in the microphone. It's really different. It's something I've never seen in another game. The art style is fairly simple, but it's quite pretty. And yeah, it's just an interesting game that I recommend people take a look at and see if it takes their fancy. It's out for several platforms.
That's what I was going to ask. Okay.
And it is at a price point
15 euros.
15 euros,
bucks probably as well.
$12.99.
And also that means it's like $5 on Epic right now because there's 10 of everything.
Damn, that's a sweet ass idea for a game. That is a sweet idea for a game. Can you imagine if somebody was able to make levels where two people had to sing to merge their, like, you could do some crazy shit with that. That's very cool. Yeah. I haven't even heard of this game. Those are the kind of things where I was going to ask about platforms, because consoles usually get left out because they know a lot of people don't have mics. But if I was that company, I'd put it on there anyway, because, you know, somebody with a headset's going to want to play that. Like that's very cool. Hadn't heard of that at all. So that's like Reg said, it's $10 off currently on Epic. One hand clapping.
So if you don't care where you get it, and you just want the lowest price, then
then
There's your option.
Epic's where to go. What do you got, Reg, for the free/non-free games?
All right, so starting off with the Epic Game Store, we have Neon Abyss. And on Indie Gala North, on Ubisoft, Rayman Origins, which is an awesome platformer. I think that's it with the totally free stuff. Then on to subscription titles, we have on Xbox Game Pass Ben 10 Power Trip, Broken Age, Firewatch, The Gunk, Lake, Mortal Kombat 11, Paw Patrol Mighty Pups Safe Adventure Bay, Race with Ryan, Record of Lodosphere Detailed in Wonder Labyrinth, Transformers Battlegrounds, Aliens Fireteam Elite. Yeah, that's it. That was already a pretty
Jesus, that's
anyway.
a huge list.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, sorry.
Just scrolling down if there's anything else. On Xbox Games with Gold, we have Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet and Tropico 5 Penultimate Edition. All right. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
So
Paw
I saw
Patrol.
Ubisoft might have
Oh, yeah.
also had Valhalla. Last night when I was going to bed, unless I was having some kind of the most egregious wet dream ever, I
think
it
there's
said
also a
Valhalla's
free PlayStation Plus weekend. I know that's happening. And
You really
Valhalla's
liked
maybe
Valhalla
also
way
a-
more than I did. If that was a wet dream.
No, that's why I said
You were like-
egregious. No, even though that technically isn't the term. No, I think Valhalla's DLC, just like Odyssey's DLC, is stunning. I think Ubisoft, whatever we say about Ubisoft, their DLC is good. Overall.
Odyssey has a free weekend.
Odyssey's free. That's what it was. Yeah, Odyssey was
Ooh.
free. That's why I was like wanting to talk about it today. Yeah, Odyssey's in there.
Nice.
Yeah, dude, there's so many free games on Xbox though. That's some fucked up dude, Firewatch is awesome. The Gunk
Yeah.
is not. Lake is what I'm hearing is awesome. I'm hearing the Lake. A lot of people really like the Lake. What else did you have on Xbox? Man, that's insanity.
Broken Age. the
Broken
adventure
Age,
game.
that's the other one, yeah.
Mortal Kombat 11.
And Mortal Kombat
Yeah.
11? Dude, it's so good.
Paw Patrol. And what was the Transformers game you said?
Transformers
Battlegrounds.
Battlegrounds.
It is so... Lake is... Wizard of Smoke says Lake is awesome. Abbreviated Review says, what's the opposite of a wet dream? A dry nightmare?
Right.
Indio missed on that one. Indio usually brings the heat. Sorry, bro. Step
Hit
up
or
your game.
miss.
Step up your game, man. Come on. You can do it. Valhalla's 50% off on Epic. What would that be? 30... No, 25. Because they're not full.
Well,
It would be 30 or 40. Yeah.
Well, also minus 10 again. So it's the sale plus $10 off.
No shit?
Yeah.
Oh. Record of
Yeah.
Lotus War is good. Yes, it is. And Record of Lotus War, we were talking about a couple weeks ago, is one of the only
Yeah.
animes I've watched and really enjoyed. I like the world. Not to say that means the game is good. Need a new Rayman Legends, and they read that 1 second before Reg said Rayman was free. So there's that too. Yeah, it's cool, man. A lot of free games. If you're a gamer, there's more than enough for anybody to sort of go
I
around.
mean, sadly, I think given what happened with Ancel, that's probably a
With
far
what?
way out. With Ancel, the developer, the guy who made up or came up with Rayman.
You think what's a long way out? A new Rayman?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I mean,
What
not that they
happened?
necessarily need him, but I mean, he left the company while leading Beyond Good and Evil under the whole cleanup for allegations of abuse and terrible work environment.
It's so hard to track stuff now because if it's not delayed, it's like Sifu where it's moved up. If it's working in one way, then somebody who runs the entire thing is gone because they were jackass. It's really hard to track what's, what is even, it's almost like a month prior now in fact, somebody was asking me about something and they were like, are you excited? And Alan Wake, are you excited? I'm like, I'm waiting to be excited. I need to wait until we're way closer, because who knows? I'm not saying there's something going on. I'm just saying who knows these days. You know, what's not going to be delayed or what's not going to be, you know, pushed back. I mean, Alan Wake looks cool. I think Star Wars Eclipse looks like a trailer. But I mean, I want a new Star Wars game. Ubisoft's got a Star Wars game. Haven't heard much about that.
By the way, quick question about Alan Wake. Do you know if the actor is someone that we know? Well,
I mean, he's a voice actor that we know.
So it's not
Go ahead.
Jake Gyllenhaal?
No.
Like...
Oh,
no.
No, in fact, people thought the new Alan Wake remake was sort of screwed up because he looked different. It's actually, he looks like the voice actor now. The remake got him close to the voice actor,
well, I thought it was the opposite. You know how in Control the actress looks very different than...
Oh, absolutely. That one was weird.
He's also in Control. He's the actor who plays the doctor.
Yeah.
Like the scientist, chief scientist. That's Alan Wake.
Huh.
It's so... Good. Man, gaming's good. Gaming's good.
It's good.
What else do we got for topics?
Quick thing. The Matrix demo. I know Reg played it. Did you guys play that? Karak Silver? The Unreal demo?
No, Karak did though. Talked about it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, were you like struck by the, you know, majesty of... No?
Dude, come on. Nothing is happening in that. Once you get some CPU cycles being eaten up by AI and all the other stuff, let's look at a game. There was nothing about that I was like, oh, wow. It reminds me of the PlayStation 5 Epic thing where they were like, hey, look at us. It's like, nope.
Yeah.
Games got to have your CPU cycles being eaten up.
That's what's misleading about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a person walking. Like, I mean, it's cool, I guess.
Yeah. It looked great.
It reminds me a lot of the old tech demos, like the Tyrannosaurus Rex for the old PlayStation.
Maybe that's what it is, Silver. Maybe you just hit on it. Maybe that if you've lived through those older tech demos we used to get, that were a big deal back in the day, maybe it's just a little less impactful if you remember.
Like the big Killzone trailer for the PlayStation,
right? Right. Yeah. Fair.
Have to. I mean, and I'm not I mean, people can be impressed by it, but I saw stuff in that already made me nervous. Two things. FPS is shit in that demo. And it's not a demo because nothing happens. It's a walking...
It's an experience.
It's a walking
it is an engine
wallpaper.
demo.
It's an engine demo. Yeah, I don't even like the term demo, but also there were flickering on textures and all kinds of stuff, which is cool because that shows it's real. But also cool that in a game where no CPU cycles were being used for AI and no GPU stuff, and it was supposed to be a demo, it still had issues. So, like, how impressive is that? Not to be rude, how impressive is it that the demo had a bunch of issues? That's what
it's basically like the Unreal one, right? With the lady who woke up in the cave or whatever it was.
Yeah. I'm impressed with Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yes.
Right? I'm impressed by games.
Yeah.
Not demos, because they're almost always, I mean, they're not lies. They're not anything because it means nothing. So, if they had showed something, I will change it to this. If they had showed something that, you remember Ratchet and Clank was like, hey, look at us, we can do portals, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of what it turned out to be, that was something where you were like, oh, I haven't seen it done in exactly that way before. Does that make sense? This was just like, here's a gun, here's a car chase, and here's...
Oh, God, the car chase was terrible.
Yeah, I thought the car chase wasn't near as good as what I was expecting, but...
the stuff after was, I mean, pretty cool, but the car chase, I don't know why they even put that in. That was a real downer.
Yeah. The impressive part was the look of the city. It looked full and alive. I mean, it did. It looked like the same NPC walking around. I don't know, man. Maybe I played it different. I even played it live in our Discord because somebody was like, man, this is the most impressive thing ever. And I was like, all right, I'll go back and look at it. And I guess I'm more impressed by the open worlds we have now with characters actually walking around. Because then I can say that's
Spider-Man, where the traversal is interesting.
A lot of it might be Spider-Man. I mean, the honest truth is...
We're spoiled, aren't we?
Well, yeah, and Spider-Man... I mean, yeah, not spoiled, but you see all the explosions and shit going on, and then you just see a person walking around, and you're like, well, that's cool, but it's a filter. By the way, you can turn off the matrix filter, and if you do, it's a lot less something.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, and you could put a matrix filter on any game. That green, it looks like somebody's really, really sick, and they took a pee.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll just have to see, man.
Had too much Gatorade.
Way too much. Let's see. It more looks like the code works and shows on screen and isn't crashing, so the logic is that it's good. Yeah, you could say that. Brandon says, how big will file sizes be for mid and large Unreal games? I don't know, man. We're starting to see some cool cutbacks though too. Look at Assassin's Creed. They rewrote the entire back end of the data and made it smaller. So we can see that.
Oh,
too.
nice.
Yeah. Games are pretty big though, right? They don't seem to care. They're just like, here you go.
No, certainly
okay.
some of them don't.
Yeah, some of them are probably lazy, not lazy.
When you get over the 200 gigabyte mark, yeah.
Well, I think it's like, where do you spend your time and resources, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times, you barely have those to make the game itself, and
versus
then
worrying about somebody's bandwidth.
Yeah.
at the end, you just don't have the bandwidth to also worry about being super efficient in the compression.
Did you guys see that Halo didn't have the game on it and required a download if you buy the game?
No.
Halo Infinite?
No.
Plus, I mean, the advantage is if your game is huge, then the player cannot be getting distracted by too many other games because there's only so much space on the
monopolize the system.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the psychology behind that if you find out some game is like...
It's pretty easy. Like Call of Duty, 300 gigs. Well, that means you can fit 2 other games on there. That's it.
And we have Call of Duty on sale, the other one, which also is 150. So you have a Call of Duty PlayStation. Sorry, Johnny, go ahead. Keep talking. I'll be right back.
A psychology thing where the game is bigger, therefore better, right? Oh, my game.
True.
Well, if you liked COD, that was 200 gigs.
I mean, I have actually seen people that worked for so. They were like, what this game is like only 5 gigs big? Well,
I've heard it many times. Whoa, it must be shit. Yeah, it's only 30 gigs.
Yeah. That mindset does exist.
That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Yeah.
But dude, it would, right? You do hear that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear a lot of stuff, unfortunately.
No,
that is also very true.
Let's not get started here. Holy shit. Yeah.
Especially here, because starting February we'll have compulsory vaccination. So
the booster?
No, everyone has to get vaccinated.
Right. So the
first and second shot.
2 doses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Starting February. So there's lots of demos against that, and lots of very interesting rumors. Let's put it.
And when you say interesting, it's like
it's cuckoo banana.
Right.
Shit.
Yeah. Cuckoo. Right.
Yeah. I mean, people don't want Bill Gates's microchips and transmitters injected into their bloodstream.
Bill Gates has more hours in the day than I do.
It's like the small calm stuff compared to the current. Whatever.
I mean, Bill Gates, some of his time is being spent turning shit into water. He still has time to develop this complex, like chip scheme that's going on. It's he's a prolific guy.
Oh yeah. And I still don't have 5G here.
I don't think I have either, frankly.
So there you go. Get vaccinated. I want my 5G.
We have it here, but it's a joke. Like,
incentive.
You have it in some places, but then you turn a corner and you no longer have. So it's a joke.
What's a joke?
Many things currently.
Oh,
yes.
But yeah, we're just going
conspiracies,
bouncing off a few different things going on. Yeah.
I was complaining that despite people getting vaccinated, I still don't have 5G here.
Yeah, exactly. Directly connected.
To go back to Halo,
actual 5G.
Karak, you mentioned the physical copy of Halo Infinite requiring download. So does it give you code for the digital version of the game?
I don't know. I saw Digital Foundry, I think, was talking about it. I think John mentioned it in his Twitter.
Or is it
I had
like the physical games we got on PC towards the end?
I think
where it
it's
was
just like a
literally
loader.
the
Yeah, but
Steam
don't- I
launcher
mean-
and that's it.
Yeah, but I think like with console games, like there's a difference where, I mean, they don't usually ship with a digital code. Where, for me, because you'll still have to have the disc in or whatever to
Oh,
play
for
the
sure,
game,
you'll still have to have
or
the
won't
disc
be
in.
able.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, John had posted it on.
I mean
On his
that's a bit rubbish. I think they could at least if they're going to make you download the entire game, at least give you the digital copy of it.
Yeah, so you don't have to. Yeah, there. We talked about this. I can't remember. There's another game I have where that popped up for me, where it was like and I was just like, God damn, man, that's a lot of hoops to jump through. What do we got for questions in the Discord, Johnny?
All right, let me head over there and see what have we today. Mr. Krelt says, do you think we're going to keep seeing more and more mashups of older game genres to make more games, or do you think the market will take off in a new direction, such as class-based RPG game where all skills are deck builders? Goes on to say Gordian Quest. Gordian Quest? You guys know that one? As my favorite example, he says, what are your thoughts on major board games as Gloomhaven? Okay, my dude, that's two questions in
But
one.
he does mention something Reg and I were talking about, and I was talking about last night in the Discord that that Embracer Group bought. What is it? Amsomdi.
Sorry, let's see.
They bought the board game.
Put it in. Embracer Groups to buy a game publisher Asmodee.
Asmodee. And so they do a bunch of stuff for board games, and that was really exciting to me because that opens up IPs for video games as well as video game IPs for board games. So he's talking about Gloomhaven and stuff like that. But his idea of like, will they stop mashups? No. No, we'll see mashups forever. I mean, if they work, they work. Some mashups are good. Like what Silver was talking about, a game where you sing to raise platforms. That's technically a mashup between like a, like a Rockstar game and platforming, and sounds incredible. So to me, there's nothing wrong. Like that's what we'll get. I'm sure we'll get more of the game. I think Death Stranding's Strand part was like complete, absolute PR bullshit. But the idea of those kind of overarching connections in games, that kind of stuff will happen. I'd like to see I want to see what Halo Infinite's going to do, because they're talking about like Infinite being sort of a open game for other like DLC and stuff to pop into. And to be honest, after playing it, I'm like, how? I mean, how differently than anybody else? How? What are they going to do? I think we'll start to see Assassin's Creed. They said that their new game will have other games like it's an open world kind of thing, and it's like the other games will be connected to it somehow. It's like, how's that going to happen? I think that'll be the new thing, where people try to make it a platform. The game is a platform, like for other games, which will be like Far Cry. Imagine in Far Cry in 6, you can get on a boat and you can defeat the game right away by leaving on the boat. What if you left on the boat and you ended up in Far Cry 3, landing on the Paradise Islands, and now you're in Far Cry 3 and you're the main character there? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I can see that kind of stuff being a thing, where they try to merge the narratives of games. I just think that's a bunch of bullshit, though. I don't know. I just don't think that's going to happen. It's going to be really hard. Derek, last super chat. Just want to say thanks so much for everything over the years. From me to y'all, happy holidays. It is. It's soon.
Thank you, Derek.
Thank you.
Next Friday and
Derek
Saturday.
de Arimas.
Do you guys do Christmas?
Yes.
To some extent, I have very few actual traditions besides relaxing at home in cozy clothes and foods.
I can't. I'm a huge Christmas fan. I'm so excited for it. I didn't even.
Do you guys do the tree and
we
all
got
the?
Yeah, we got.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all here.
Do you do carols as well? Or?
What?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, you do? Bro,
There's
you're out there
piano
singing carols?
In your house?
There's in the house.
Oh.
But still, like there's someone's
Dancing
always
around the tree
playing
or-
the piano. Someone's everyone's singing together, like the full program.
We did that with my grandma,
Wow.
but once she passed, we didn't do it as much.
Right.
She was the singer.
Yeah, I did that with my grandparents as well for like 1 or 2 years.
I
So
thought you
do you
meant
do it on
walking around
the-
to people's houses, and I'd be like, dude, you'd be shot. If you walked to somebody's house and sang
Right.
outside their house, they'd be like, dude, what are you doing? Like, get off my lawn. What were you saying? You were asking a question, Johnny.
So do you do? Because it's different in different countries. Some countries on the 24th, you put the gifts under the tree, and then in the morning of the 25th, you wake up and you go open them. But how do you guys do that? Do you have like?
I don't know, Reg. We do both
That
days.
That was always
Here-
Christmas Eve here.
Yeah, here it was always the evening of the 24th.
Okay. Well, the whole thing, I think, at least where I'm from, is like Santa is supposed to sneak into your house while you sleep.
Yep.
Which is kind of creepy. And put the presents on the tree. And then when you wake up, magically the gifts
We
are
do
there
that.
and
We
the-
have one gift on Christmas Day and the rest
There
are
you
on
go.
Christmas Eve. Yeah. And if your family's nearby, a lot of people will go one part of the family and then like the grandparents' house on Christmas Day
Oh.
or vice versa. But
Damn,
yeah, we
there's
just don't have,
layers to this shit.
yeah, we just don't have anybody nearby, man. And we have like mountains between us. So like getting there through
Oh.
snow and stuff, you're just like, whatever.
Yeah, it's like Death
Yeah.
Stranding together.
We'll do Zoom or something. Maybe. And that's where a lot of things are going. A lot of these companies are looking at like how do you make a holiday feel. I mean, look at how many TVs now come with a Zoom kind of connection. They come with a camera on the TV so that you can do this kind of stuff easier. That's going to become more of a thing. It just gets worse. Like I said, it's like after a while you were like, "Oh, I'm sure pandemic will get better." It's a pandemic for a reason.
Yeah.
It's never getting better.
Yeah.
It feels like at some point it feels like, oh my God. I feel like we might be saying it's our 5th year in 3 years. And
Yeah.
that disturbs the out of me.
Yeah.
But that is the way, especially now, just recently, where I'm like, man, seriously? Like it's getting worse. Oh, Splinter Cell. Yeah, let's talk about Splinter Cell. So they announced a remake of Splinter Cell. I don't know if Ironside's doing it. If he isn't, I'm going to be really mad. But I don't know. What do you guys feel about a remake of Splinter Cell?
I am unenthused.
Yeah, I don't know about a remake. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I don't. Why is my main question.
I mean, it's still more than I would ever expected it would happen. Like
For Splinter Cell?
I was completely certain that it was dead and buried forever.
Right.
Wow.
That makes sense. What were we going to say, Johnny?
The comments from the person who talked about it were quite misleading because they talk in terms of remaking Splinter Cell from the ground up based on the rich canvas of the series. What does that mean?
Oh,
Are you
okay.
taking one game and remaking it? Are you combining things?
So it is a
into one
remake
game?
of number 1. They stated that, but they stated what they're doing is remaking number 1 with some of the efficiencies and
Okay.
changes from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 700.
Okay. So it is just the first one.
It
kind
is
of-
the first one, but you are right
Yeah.
that it's a reimagination and making. Like it's
more like
it's-
Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah,
where
it won't
it's
be
like a-
exactly. It won't be 4K only. They were making that
Right.
clear. It's not like the Assassin's
So
Creed trilogy or anything like that.
yeah.
Presumably, it'll be like combined Nicolatze and like the Georgian cyber terrorism and whatnot.
Well,
That's
here's the thing.
villain.
That's the problem for me. Their ideas of terrorism and all that kind of stuff don't ring as true as they would have back then.
Uh-huh.
Their ideas of like bad guys sometimes ring true. It depends on which game you're talking about.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some weird stuff there too, with like how do you handle the politics of today with the politics of there's this like I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
just have to see, man. We'll just have to see. And if Michael Ironside's not doing the voice, that's going to bother me even more. But he did mention. I mean, he did the voice for Breakpoint.
Yeah,
So hopefully he does the voice
but
here.
he's also gotten older since then, and still getting older.
Technology is better. You don't. I
I
mean,
mean, that's how time works.
yeah.
Yeah.
I,
yeah.
I mean, I think technology is good enough that you don't need to. You can separate the two. We'll have to see what they believe.
Yeah, no, I'm just talking in terms of like also with his illness and stuff that it might
Yep.
be too much for him.
It might be.
potentially, like,
It might
Right.
be.
for the vocal stuff.
Yeah, it might be because he was man. even in Justified, which is now 5, 6, 7 years old, when he showed up, he was looking pretty rough. I know he's faced really bad diabetes, I think. It hit him in a later age, yeah. It was a little bit like, who was, he played in Stargate, SG-1? Not Richard.
Oh, the blonde guy?
MacGyver.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Richard Dean something. Correct me.
I'm watching
he faced
Archer's.
it as well.
I'm watching Archer's season 12 at the moment, and it's kind of eerie because Jessica Walter,
Richard Dean Anderson, thank you.
And she obviously passed away earlier this year, back in March. And like listening to her vocal performances in that season, you can definitely sound that she sounds. I mean, she's 80 at this point.
You can hear the age. Yeah.
And you can hear it, and you can hear that she doesn't sound like herself anymore. Really.
Rip Torn was that way when Rip Torn got older, right before he passed. Because I love Rip Torn from the original Beastmaster, and then actually his real stuff.
Yeah, so much fun. Such a fun character actor.
Yeah, he's a very fun, over-the-top character actor, and he was in...
good in Dodgeball and...
Yes, and 30 Rock. He's actually in 30 Rock, which is... I
restarted
watching, I was
Don
like,
Geiss. Yeah.
And he's not as crazy, which is cool. He's sort of the somewhat straight guy, but he looks old in that. Very thin, because even in Beastmaster, he was a heavy dude as the bad guy in Beastmaster. He was heavier. He always carried, and sometimes, especially with illness, you see that weight going away. And it's almost like with William Shatner. If he ever starts losing a bunch of weight, I'm going to be more worried about him. It's like sometimes that angry fat guy lives forever. For whatever reason, like the dude from Quaker Oats. Man, is he still alive? He may still be alive. I don't remember if he's still alive, but it's just Rip Torn was looking pretty beat up. Rip was great in Gary Shandling. He was the Gary Shandling show. He was. I forgot all about that. There was a mission to recover NFTs from an Echo. Oh, there will be a mission to recover NFTs from an Echo terrorist group in the new Splinter Cell. Yeah, no shit, right? Yeah. What else do we got for
Another
questions?
topicals. There's going to be like a COVID thing they're going to steal.
No lie. What else do we got for questions?
All right. So next up from Paco Luigi. Greetings, gents. About to head back into work for my break, but wanted to ask if y'all have any comfort food games in rotation right now. Best, Paco.
All right.
In current rotation?
Yeah, games I have return to in between games, I guess.
Yeah, I have the one I always do, Tetris.
Yeah, I wouldn't return. I would say mine Switch in the holidays, for whatever reason. Definitely. Yeah, MMOs more than most, for whatever reason.
Star Wars or
yeah, probably Star Wars or something like that. I don't know why mine are normal about 10 months out of the year, like Silver was saying Tetris, but then mine changed November, December. My gaming habits changed pretty severely. I don't know why. What about you, Reg? You don't return to anything, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Johnny, what about you?
Unless it's Persona.
Well, I mean, that are only a return to because a new version came out.
What about you, Johnny?
Right, but yeah, well, for me, Persona 5 is currently my comfort game. But it's not because I'm necessarily returning to it. It's my first playthrough, but it is like when I'm low energy and I just want to play something.
I'd like to know something then. So people in chat, do you replay games, rewatch movies, or reread books? So here's what's weird to me. You'll hear people say they always listen to music over and over, right? Who's the weirdo who buys an album and listens to it once and is like, done, never again? But once you get to visual stuff, that completely changes, and it's different for a lot of people. Where maybe they listen, to, maybe they'll watch a movie multiple times, but they won't listen, or they won't watch a show multiple times, or vice versa. So, is there anything you guys do return to, like Reg in particular? You don't return to games. Do you return to movies or shows?
Music, I pretty much listen to on repeat, like you said. Like, but there's rarely anything where I'm sick of hearing it, no matter how often it happened. Shows super rarely, super rarely.
Gotcha. Okay.
Movies more often. If I really liked it, it might happen that I actually watch it like a couple times in
okay.
1 year.
Okay, so you won't rewatch an anime, you're saying? Overall.
No.
Wow. Okay.
There's too much stuff I haven't seen yet to watch. Why would I rewatch anything?
Because I vibe sometimes. Like where
Right.
I'm not wanting to
Sure, if I'm in the mood for something specific, I still look for something that's similar to what I already watched.
Gotcha.
Never to going
So
back
Parks
to what
and
I
Rec
already watched.
and like Brooklyn Nine, like those are two comedy sitcoms. You might go from one to the other, but not back to the not
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, like that happens very often where I'm in the mood for something like that. Like I'm going to it, look like similar shows, give me some recommendations, and then I'm watching those. That happens for sure.
Gotcha. What about you, Johnny?
I do the Lord of the Rings trilogy more or less every
Really?
year. There's some years I skip it.
Just the
but yeah,
three, right?
just
the
the
first
three,
three.
and usually
The
Christmas
Director's Cut?
time. I have
Extended
the
edition?
last few years I did the extended edition, and I actually think I prefer the normal version.
Well,
Because
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
the
mean,
extended edition is a lot.
especially when I finish it and I'm in the Return of the King, and there are
Yeah.
like 5 Sam scenes.
Oh,
I'm like, dude,
dude.
I gotta piss. I gotta do stuff.
It's just
you know,
like, cut it. He's leaving.
We're
We
done.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. I like that. And
What-
I reread books sometimes. There are a couple books that I really like to reread for some reason
Right.
that I just know will give me that sort of feel good thing. So
Looks like in here, a lot of people do rewatch and reread, which is
I mean, it's funny the dynamic you described with music, because I immediately thought of art as well. Like you don't buy a painting, look at it once, and then just throw it out, right?
I don't buy a painting though.
True.
But
Dude,
you buy
imagine Karak.
you buy posters and stuff, right?
But they're rolled up.
So you look at them once, roll them up.
I
and
don't
then
even
put
look
them
at
in
them a lot of
storage,
times.
or-
So I have a couple posters, Silver. It's funny you mention that because I have a couple posters that I've liked, like I've seen D&D or whatever, and I buy them, but I don't have any. I mean, I got the Reaper, but that was for the background. If the Reaper, the Mass Effect, if it wasn't here, I have nothing on the walls. Yeah, nothing. I don't have family. Yeah.
True. I also
Yeah.
have nothing here.
But I
on
get
the
what you
walls.
mean. I get what you mean that if you're an not a collector, but if you like to put art on your walls, you most likely aren't looking at it once and then shying away from the wall.
Yeah, or going to the museum, like never again.
Never once
Well,
for me.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm having
that
the
is pretty much
wildest-
for me. Yeah.
yeah. I'm having the wildest scene in my mind of Karak being thrust into like a I don't know, an impressionist art expose, and Karak is like walking around looking at the paintings, like what the actual fuck?
I'd be
man?
like, dude, you fucked up that perfect white wall with your dumbass art
Like, give
splatter.
me a pen.
Yeah. Like,
I'm
how
joking.
much is this?
But yeah, oh no, I would definitely be that. It is. I mean, people like I don't know, man. I love rereading books. I just don't know any other way to describe it. And I'll start at the end. I mean, I'll just start. I'll read 356 pages, back to one, reread,
Wow.
and I can do that. I mean, I've read the Dragonlance series well over 100 times. Like, I mean, just weeks
Whoa.
on end. Just read it, get through all 9 books, start back at 1, read it again. But
when I grew up,
I can't do that with some
Jurassic
stuff. It's just-
Jurassic Park was a novel I
Jurassic-
read over and over again.
The book, right?
By Crichton. Yeah, the novel. yeah.
The book was sweet, and I read that book after I watched the movie, and I read the book multiple times as well. Multiple times. Yeah. And films, I definitely find myself getting in, like Reg was saying, I don't like to look for new stuff if I need to pay attention, I want to pay attention. But I will tell you it's harder. As you get older, they say it's already harder to pay attention. There's like science stating that, ADD is like something that can impact you when you get older because your brain is more easily broken away and paying attention to other stuff. And I will say the one movie that got me to sit, turn everything off, and this is the first time in so long where I didn't have Discord up. I turned that, was Blade Runner, the new Blade Runner. It was
Right.
ridiculous. It looked so good. I don't know any other way to describe it. The new Blade Runner I had not watched. I was like, man, I'm not interested, blah, blah, blah. And it came on, and I was like, it's slow. The new Blade Runner is glacial. It's like just like the old Blade Runner, but it's like, let's watch this ship. Ship's still coming. Yep, still coming.
I like it a lot, man.
And I was just
immersive.
like, whoa, this is awesome. Like, yeah, so I turned everything off and we sat and watched it. Martian. The Martian. Have you guys seen that movie?
Oh, yeah.
If The Martian's
Couple
on,
times.
I'll turn everything off and just go. I don't know if it's other worlds. Maybe it's other world stuff.
If I watch something like a show or a movie, I usually don't have anything else on anymore.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah.
But Reg is a god of concentration. He can sit and read for hours without...
Oh, I can read for hours with nothing on, but TV
Really?
is the different. Yeah.
So Johnny,
I have like
you're
monkey
out
brain.
of the norm.
No. No, I'm sorry. I'm gonna push back on that.
You
This
were
is a
like,
problem.
5 minutes reading something? Ooh.
No, I didn't say 5 minutes. But 30 minutes into reading, I start to get a bit restless. And
Yeah, no, I get that.
this is something of the times. I wasn't like that before, and I think a lot of people, suffer from that.
It's
nowadays.
very real. That's very
Yeah.
real. For example, my wife came home a couple weeks ago and I had 2 music tracks on. And she's like,
Right.
what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm listening to music. And she's like, dude, you have Fleetwood Mac on and you have Rob Zombie on. First of all, they're nothing alike. Second, how are you even doing that? I'm like, I don't know. And I was pretty much rocking to both of them. And I've had 3 on. I've had a movie and music and music and music before. My wife, it's just a cacophony of audio. She'd just be like, oh my God. And to me, I'm hearing every single, like, I don't know what it is, but like as you get older, there is scientific proof that especially when it comes to things impacting you, that there's a higher chance of you being pulled away. So a person can focus of nothing, but there's like you said, restless. I definitely get restless at times. What I've found is my best gaming, my best reading is definitely in bed at night. Like if I plan it,
Yeah, for sure.
oh man, I can
Wow.
and I have to have a hood almost, like dark. Like it's even better. I don't like reading on Android, but I will. But if I have a light and a book, that's even better. But at night, that hour or 2 before bed, everything's calm and like
Don't you get
Enjoy.
sleepy though? You're like you're
no, I
reading
have the
that?
opposite.
No.
It'll be 4 a.m. and I'll be
Wow.
talking to you guys in Discord and
Oh,
reading
yeah,
a book, and I'll be
exactly.
like, "This is a
Dude,
bad
Like,
idea. It's going to be a
grab
nightmare."
a book, I get into bed, and then like it's
I get
6 a.m. or
excited.
something. I look at the
If I have a
clock
book.
and I think, ooh, damn, it's like only 3 hours of sleep left. I
The
should
guy who
stop.
did Altered Carbon, Richard Morgan, I think. The guy who did. I got his books, and I get like flutters if I'm excited for a book, to where it'll be
Shit.
3 a.m. and I'll be like,
Like with a good
real-
book, I definitely get that civilization thing. Like one more turn,
One more
it's like
page.
one
One
more
more turn.
page.
Yeah.
yeah,
sure.
and I'll just be like, and
Wow.
it's one of those things where. Hang on one second. Jesse said something. It just pinged here. Jesse said, to anyone who played Prey, if you have a suggestion for a type of game, I'd gladly take them. I haven't found anything yet, and I'm aching for something like it. So Prey 2017. Other than
Control is a
Dishonored,
little like it.
Control is exactly. That's what I was going to say. Control is more action packed, obviously, but I think Control is in Quantum Break more action packed. But you're not going to find anything just like Prey. I don't.
No.
I mean, other than
No.
Deus Ex. Deus Ex. There's parts of Deus Ex that feel like Prey, I would say, in some way. Those Half-Life, System Shock, yeah, System Shocks. That's a good example. That's a good example.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I mean, it's
Yeah,
not
no,
exactly.
yeah,
I'm just
really.
No,
Prey
no.
is sort of its own thing. So
Yeah.
Oh no, what's the one you guys like? I don't like it, but he's got the 3D. It's the horror game in space, and he's got Dead Space.
Dead Space.
Dead Space are a little like it, aren't they? Aren't Dead Space like Prey?
Mm,
No?
I wouldn't say so.
Okay.
I think System Shock is the better.
Yeah,
comparison there.
yeah. Joe says Karak Epic Sales is on with coupon. Alan Wake Remastered or Kina.
You jumped, dude.
There's a jump scare.
Jesus fucking Christ, that scared the shit out of me. The new dog has a weird bark, and I'm not accustomed to it. It sounds like somebody's being attacked. Anyway, back to books and stuff. Yeah, the excitement and stuff like that is cool. And rewatching, replaying stuff, like talking about BioShock I'm gonna replay those. I'm replaying Far Cry 5. It just depends on the game. Depends on the on the material. We need a
There
Prey
is
too.
one book, dude, that I go back to. I've gone back to 5 times, I think. It's called Tough Voyaging, and it's actually by George R.R. Martin, but it was, you know, before the like Song of Ice and Fire stuff. And it's like a space sci-fi title where the protagonist is like a kind of bioengineer person. So he goes to a planet and he's like, I'm gonna fix your ecosystem problems, right? So you have like a runaway problem with dinosaurs or some shit. So he introduces like something in the ecosystem that like,
fixes
takes
it
over, and so it's almost like engineering. So he's like an engineer, or becomes that at some point anyway. And I found it really, really cool.
And you've read it multiple times?
Yeah.
And for me, I mean, it is a kind of comfort to re-engage with art that's familiar to me. Not just because it's familiar, but also because I often discover new things. Like someone in chat said, well, don't you already know the plot if you've already read the book? Well, yes, but the specifics of the plot aren't what's important. Like I read a lot of classics, and so when I go to a book, like a couple of years ago, I read Anna Karenina for the first time. And I already knew going in, like how that story ends, because I've sort of picked up on that through cultural osmosis and popular culture. And so people know how Hamlet ends, but they still read that. They still go and watch that play. They still engage with that story because it's compelling. It's not the specifics of the plot. It's how it's portrayed and how it's delivered and how it's executed.
I know sex works, and I'll have it multiple times.
Also
right.
true.
I mean, you know, we revisit stuff. I revisit Saint Germain, the Saint Germain vampire books, which are years old. I don't even think Yancey Quinn Yarbo's alive anymore, but it was probably the first vampire book I ever read, and I've read it multiple times. I know the plot. The plot doesn't... You'll miss stuff. The human brain, even when you're reading, you don't have 100% retention. And you don't... How many times have you guys read it? Well, not all of you reread a book, but I have reread a book and been like, oh, there was a subtle foreshadow that I never picked up on.
Yeah.
And that's why I tell people I don't mind spoilers, and I know everybody else is so against it, but I like it because I love to track back and go, that's awesome, you know? And so I don't feel like I've lost anything. I know other people do, but I love finding those things out. So rereading and rewatching, replaying isn't a big deal. I get why other people don't. This person said they watched Band of Brothers 14 times. Isn't that the World War II one?
Yeah.
Dude, there's camaraderie. That's why I watch sitcoms. I watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine because it's a bunch of people in a job enjoying each other, which is exactly what I like in real life, is people in a group doing something but having a good time.
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec. Like, if any time you ever ask me, even 30 Rock, even though they're a little bit more antagonistic, but Boston Legal, like you can quite literally look at a show, and if there's certain components go, I bet you Karak most likely will like that show because it's like a group doing this together, and there's this, and there's just something about that emotion. It doesn't even have to be great. It's just that sort of thing. Anybody watch Curb Your Enthusiasm? Never seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen one or two episodes. I wasn't a huge fan. Had a difficult time getting into that.
It's quite funny at times. Larry David is a very, very funny guy.
What's the one with Danny DeVito? Is that Portlandia?
That's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Jesus. There's so many. That's another one I haven't seen, and I love Danny DeVito. He's such a weirdo. He's such a weird.
That show is also quite funny.
That's what I've heard. I had a friend that was insane about spoilers, so annoying, especially if it's been years. Yeah, we were on a podcast a couple days ago.
It's also quite clever in its writing.
Somebody was going to spoil, I think it was Infinite, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, just because I like them doesn't mean I would spoil them for somebody else. Like, that would be ridiculous. Like, but they were spoiling games that were pretty new, and I was like, dude, that's pretty raw, man. Somebody else may not like, somebody else that might be their thing. Oh, what was it? Oh shoot, I can't remember, but it was definitely a newer one. Always Sunny is a whole different beast. Lots of stuff going on across those many seasons.
And the literature I've probably engaged the most with over my life has been Sherlock Holmes, just going back to that over and over.
Yeah,
like,
Sherlock Holmes stuff
from a
is always
child.
good. I even get the new
Yeah.
stuff that's not good, which is like Sherlock Holmes versus Cthulhu.
Right.
I have like every one of those, dude. There's like, if you go to Amazon, there's like 40 of them where it's like Sherlock Holmes has to figure out some cult.
Well, it's
you know?
easy. I mean, first
And-
of all, he's bankable as a character.
bankable,
He's in
yeah.
the public domain.
Yeah. Oh, true.
So you
That is-
already have.
Yeah, that is true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Wait,
the
so,
audience
so
is
can
already built
anyone
in.
write?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it fits because, like, if you play Sherlock Holmes, if you play Sinking City, which is Cthulhu, it feels like Sherlock. It's just, you know, the timeline overlaps and it just works. And so, like, I buy into
And
that.
they even did, like, Frogwares did do, like, as a Cthulhu Sherlock Holmes game. I forget the name of it.
It wasn't Sinking City? You mean
It was-
another one?
No. Yeah, that was specifically Sherlock Holmes. I forget the name of it, but that was one of the early Sherlock Holmes games.
What are the questions that we got?
Oh, by the way, just super quick. If you guys ever want to see a Spanish TV show, I know, all
Are there
your
hot
lives you've
people in
been
it?
like,
Hot
dude,
chicks?
yeah.
Okay.
Money Heist on Netflix is fucking awesome, man.
But it's all
and I'm
Spanish?
someone. Well, there are dubs in English too, and
Oh,
good
okay.
dubs
I
too,
didn't know that.
if you want that.
Mhm.
But I mean, also it is made in Spanish. But if you ever wanted to see something good from Spain, you know, that would be, because it's, you know, chef's kiss.
Very cool.
There's
I've
also
been
a
watching
recent,
that.
a recent mini-series that's less cheerful about ETA, the Basque separatist
Oh.
movement.
It's a
I
bit
forget
heavy.
the name of it. That's
Right.
That's pretty good.
So next question here from Migux. Be honest, guys. Have you tried any of the naughty games on Steam? Was it good? And he has like a
Naughty?
face.
Oh,
Well, the
Naughty.
adult games.
nope. Genital jousting. We streamed. That was it.
Yeah, that is a very adult game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
That
there's
was so
something
gross.
about games, and we've talked about this in the past. Like it just never, because it's
Yeah,
a
they don't
game.
overlap for
It
me.
just never like connects at that level with me. I don't know. Other media, I will be like, you know, whoa, you know, that's hot. But like games, it's, even Tomb Raider, you know, with the hair, like the
Oh, yeah.
physics.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
yeah, she looks very pretty, but it was never like,
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, with like those games also, they're never games, at least from what I understand. You know, most of the time they're just as cheap as people can make a thing. So there isn't anything that would draw me in, you know, to that kind of stuff. What else we got? Oh, Witcher
this
season
que-
2 is out. Was
Yeah,
not
Yes,
aware of that.
It's out.
Released
It's out today.
All
Actually,
right.
all of it. Yeah.
What else we got?
So Michelle had a question. We kind of touched on, you know, Splinter Cell already, but just very quickly, do you have faith Ubisoft will do justice to Splinter Cell remake, given their recent fetish with NFT? Are we about to go into remake cycle in gaming? Podcast is the only one I listen to and stay interested in. Thank you for another year. Cheers, Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle's been around for like 5 years, almost the entirety of the Discord.
I don't think
I mean,
we're
are
going
we about
into
to
a
go into
cycle.
a remake
Yeah.
cycle? I would say no.
I don't think we've left one. Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, do we have faith that Ubisoft is going to execute on a Splinter Cell reboot or remake or whatever it's going to be? I don't. I mean, Karak already touched on it. We're probably unlikely to see Michael Ironside return.
But not
I think a
because
lot
of their NFTs, but because I just don't
Yeah,
have any faith
yes.
in them.
I mean, I think a lot of the elements that made up Splinter Cell are gone now. Time has sort of moved on from. So no.
And I'll be even more negative. And I'll
Cool.
say I don't have faith in anybody. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just don't. I don't have and it's because they're big, cumbersome beasts to wrestle into a game form. Even the best laid plans can go to shit when you're making a game. So I just don't have any faith. When I see something on the screen, it takes years of seeing trailers, combining those in my head in a weird like tunnel of like time from start to finish, and then the experience. So when they announce it, just like somebody was like, "Hey man, are you super stoked for Alan Wake 2?" Like I said, got to get much closer to it. And
But I do think you could ask. I mean, you could ask instead, do I think the game is going to be good? And I would say, I don't know. It might well be. Yeah.
50-50. Because, dude, Immortals Phoenix Rising is awesome. I don't care what anybody says. I love that game. I love it, and I think it's very enjoyable. I think it's awesome for what it did.
Right.
But Valhalla, I wasn't in love with. So they have the same 50% chance, right, of the NFT thing that she's talking about is very worrisome. Ignoring just Splinter Cell, that's very worrisome because it just Splinter Cell. I even stated in my Twitter, I'm like, here we go, NFT goggle color changes in Splinter Cell, like, and that's by the way, that's not talking about the quality of the game. That's what's even worse. NFTs and that kind of stuff can impact how you experience a good game in a poor way. People are not thinking correctly that NFTs will make the game bad or blah, blah, blah. That's not all that's going on. It's that an NFT or a poor microtransaction could impact a good game and make it less enjoyable if they do it in a bad way. That bothers me. Because then now you're getting into... It's almost like exclusives. If you don't have a PS4, you can't play a Sony exclusive, right? You used to not be able to. In a weird way, it's sort of like that. It's like NFTs are going to add their own exclusivity to parts of the game.
Oh, right.
I don't want horse armor. Fuck you. You know, I still blame Bethesda. I mean, horse armor. They didn't even come out of the gates correctly. Like, horse armor. Sorry. That's just like, what? So, they're two separate things. And they could combine as well into a monster. Into a fucking terrible monster.
And then you also get into, like, pay to win and whatnot.
Yeah. And by the way, I am not saying a developer doesn't have the right, and a publisher and a company doesn't have the right to make money in a way that also returns good something to the gamer. Like I said, the ability to sell your digital, blah, blah, blah. But that's not what they're going for. Go look at NFT games for mobile, people. They're fucking not games. They're not. They sell land that you can't get to. It's. Oh
yeah, we didn't mention that one yet.
What?
Our old friend Peter Molyneux is also doing one of those.
So I didn't see that. So Peter Molyneux's doing an NFT game. Is he?
Yes, where you can already buy land.
Wow.
Really?
Yes.
I think it's. I mean, it's the game that. It's. I don't think it. I mean, it's a game with NFTs in it. I think they've added that. Now that NFTs have become a fad, because I think it's to the game that he's been working on at 22 Cans for the last couple of years.
Yes,
Legacy.
He had announced it like 2019 or something, but from the latest news I've been reading, it sounds like they've been completely working.
So here's why I like Peter, in a weird way. That dude's a forward thinker, and it may be in bad ways. But it's not always bad. He is actually a forward thinker. It's that he is not to be rude, he's a normal forward thinker. He's not putting society first. He's a normal person trying to make money, and he has unique ideas at times, not all the time. But he's out there, man. He's out there. That idea sucks. But it doesn't mean tomorrow he won't have some idea that I'm like, oh, that'd be pretty cool if he did that, you know? I mean, some of what I love about Fable is from him. I know people want to pretend it's not, but some people don't like Fable. I should point that out too. You guys remember land sales in Ultima Online? Yeah, back in 1999. There you go. NFTs are quite literally just a change in the name and of course the add-on of the BitChain, but that is exactly correct. I forgot they sold land.
And coming back to Second Life, I mean, that's like half their business, at least. Selling land.
900,000 for a piece of land.
Whew. Nice.
Dude, that's so crazy,
What's always interesting is that there's someone on the other side of that was willing to pay, right? So it makes you question.
Yeah, there is, but the price you hear doesn't mean somebody's willing to pay that price. That is one thing I was pointing out, is that one of the ones I saw was selling land for $1 million, Johnny, and they didn't have any sales.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
So the price can seem exorbitant, but no one actually is buying it. However, there's a lot of people that are, you know. And everybody wants in on that, and I get it. Everybody wants, we used to call it the American dream. You can call it whatever dream you want. Everybody wants the gold rush. And I am not going to sit here and pretend that I hate people for that. And that means if somebody's right next to me, if like Cadiz comes over to do a podcast and he's like, dude, I'm going to make an NFT of me juggling my ball sack late at night, and I'm going to have Centovision. It's going to be a special NFT. If he makes $1 million, I'm not going to be like, you're a bad person. Well, I don't know, but I mean, it's just like
that would be.
I do understand the desire. People are in dire straits now, and the hope of being financially set, secure is it's a driver, and I'm not. It sucks, but they're separate. $70 is a price of a small washing machine in my country. What?
Nice.
Headhunter, where do you live and what year? Are you sure you're not a
$70?
time traveler?
Well, there are very many.
So he
very
says a game
low-wage
costs the
countries.
same, though? That's the question, Headhunter. You're saying $70 is the price of a small washing machine. No sense to spend so much on a game. Are games also 70? So you're saying, India. So you're saying, so the game, Headhunter, where you are, is also very expensive?
Yeah, I think it goes to Bledsoe's question. What do people think about the increase in average price of PC games from
that
60 to
sucks.
70,
Yeah.
80 average?
Well, I don't know if that's the average price. I haven't seen that.
No, I
have not
definitely
seen
don't think that's the average price. I mean, if you go to Steam, average price is probably like $7 or $10.
I'm being challenged
well,
in our
yes, of
super
course.
chats. I'm not going to say the
Right.
name because he says, I dare you to pronounce my name right. Wow. Arzeni Zev. Nope, I tried.
No,
That's
no.
not close.
It's always
Probably
better
not.
if you do it quickly.
It is.
though,
It's
I feel.
absolutely better if you're loosey goosey, you'll
Yeah.
hit it. I did that on the last podcast when I was on Dutch's. I said something. They're like, dude, you're one of the first persons to pronounce that right.
Yeah, like don't
Okay, here he
overthink
goes.
it.
Arizni Zev. Oh, that's Solid Snake. That sounded good to me. Laser's not the right person to say that, but I'm going to take his answer.
There we go.
My name's Vladimir Kirchenkov, and I'm here for your women. Borders fuck people up. It's true that. Got to rub some accent. I'm probably wrong. ACG. Well, damn it. Console games are about 70 with conversion here. India sucks for prices, right? Is India not the same as like Australia and other places where the
Yes,
prices are a little wonk? Not fully wonk, but
think-
wonk.
I think they're right up there. aren't
India
they?
gets the shaft on so much shit. I've strangely got a weird, like, largely populous Indian group that watch me. Like, I don't know how that happened, and I don't know exactly how they understand me, but a lot of people from there are fans and are Discord, sorry, not Discord, but patrons. And they tell me about shit, and I'm just like, holy Christ. Wilson, hi, everyone. Hi, Johnny. I'm addicted to your videos, as well as ACG. Look at that. You just got pushed above me, Johnny.
Wow.
You're going places, bro. Anybody watch the Xbox documentary? No, but Reg posted it, didn't he? Somebody did.
No, I just posted
there was-
that they are selling a Red Ring poster. That's
Oh,
There was
yeah.
that interesting nugget from it where they talked about how one of their biggest mistakes was how they handled the acquisition of Lionhead back in the day, and how they had learned lessons from that going forward with their newer acquisitions of various studios, because they had basically tried to pigeonhole Lionhead into doing Kinect stuff,
Yeah,
which
right.
Lionhead wasn't really
Yeah.
built to do. So yeah.
Oh, I know it is, Gunter. I know it's widely spoken in India. I was just saying that, like, especially with the jokes I make, which are sometimes culturally only in the United States or in Europe. I was just saying, I was quite surprised. I'm just also always impressed when somebody from another nation watches more than one of my videos, because I can't stand to watch more than one. Daniel S. gave me SEK $9 super chat with a smile. What's SEK?
That's one that Silver should love.
That's that's the
Is that-
Swedish currency.
What's it
So
called?
that's- It's basically monopoly money. So yeah.
Swedish
Wow.
krona.
Swedish crowns. Yeah.
Swedish crowns. There you go.
All right. Yeah,
Monopoly
it
money, he
sucks
said.
so bad that, I mean, and Steam, remember when Steam used to let you buy Russian games?
Oh, it
I
was
mean,
the
I'm sure
best
there's
of times.
probably some way. I'm just saying it used to be easier.
Yeah.
was
Hey,
so
I'm South
good.
American
Oh, so
or South
good.
African. Shane is? Oh, excellent. We have, isn't Game Face also from South Africa? I'm
Chris
almost sure.
Face.
Chris Face. Game Face. Game,
Game
Chris...
Face. Yeah.
I got my Game Face on. Yeah, Chris Face is also from there.
Dude,
Where are you guys from?
The times before Steam introduced like region separation, you could get new games for $10. That was so good.
From Russia.
Wow.
Well,
And what they would be only English or subtitles, or what would you buy it and then switch over?
There were some publishers that were trying to be smart and only released the games for the Russian region with Russian audio.
Oh, gotcha. Uruguay, South American.
Also text, right? Alphabet.
Yeah, it was completely Russian.
And Cyrillic.
Yeah, some of them.
I don't know about you guys. Whenever, and I've dated somebody from Russia and somebody from the Ukraine, which, by the way, yes, it's true, they didn't get along. But I never thought of gamers in Russia. I don't know why. I guess no time for fun. I guess I just assumed at 7, they shuttled into the army. And
vodka shot.
One vodka shot. Their dad hugged them once in their life, and they went into the army. And I know that their tech for a long time was behind ours by a generation. Right. Same was Brazil. Brazil for a while, wasn't it, Johnny? Weren't you guys a full gen behind us? You moved away, didn't you? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Brazil is, I think, still is like considered third world.
Yeah,
like,
and so you'll have that thing where we're talking about, like, I remember talking about PlayStation 2, right? And no one in certain places had a PlayStation 2. It was all PlayStation 1, you know.
It's now at the point where the rich parts are kind of up to
gotcha.
Where
makes sense.
Like Europe is more or less, or US, and then the poor parts, are like.
Okay, so we got Yorkshire, England, Johannesburg, Houston, Norway. I'm Mother Russia, no games. I don't know if you're saying from here, the Netherlands. Russia, there we go. CSRIN. Where is that?
No, don't.
Oh, are they talking about money? What?
That's something else.
Yeah. Is it an acronym for something dirty?
No, it's a website.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, it is a website. I get it now. I was like, what? Oh, okay. Oh man, that's awesome. Morocco, Portugal, Pennsylvania, Canada, Bulgaria.
Reg got a little exposed there, from
Why?
knowing that website. Just saying.
No. Well, yeah, but I mean, it was.
We've also talked about on this very bad podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, have we?
Yes.
So
yeah.
I mean.
I read the most popular console in the USSR was called the Dendy, which was a Famicom NES clone. Oh, that's another thing, clones. When I was growing up, we just didn't know what a clone was. And then you find out years later, like emulation, clones, those kind of things were such a big deal.
Right.
Nigeria? Kuwait? Damn. Okay, Peter, can't pronounce that one. Azerbaijan? I'm sure that's completely
Kuwait?
wrong.
It's not too far. Azerbaijan.
Estonia?
Heard.
Man, this is crazy, man. Straight up.
Yeah, dude.
Straight up all over the world. Somebody would be like Mars. Moon. Chinese moon rover. Iran.
They would have terrible lag, though. The Mars guy, he would be like
7 seconds
20 minutes after. Yeah.
It's actually pretty long. What else do we got for questions before I wrap it up? I didn't realize it was 106 already.
Right, I'll hit you with one more question. This one from Aztec, CJ? Aztec. In games where you can use magic, does it bother you if you cannot learn a school of magic that an NPC or enemy can use? Like in Divinity Original Sin 2, NPCs can use necromancy, but the player cannot.
Oh.
I think the player could, but like different spells. That was definitely frustrating. Yeah.
I would say, yeah. Actually, if I like something that they're doing and they're just an NPC like I am, like walking around. And that's why, like Jade Empire, you could learn martial arts. And if I faced a guy who his martial art, like I couldn't pick up on, I'd be like, And then I found out that there was a hack where you could get that martial art. They just hadn't built it into the game. So yeah, I definitely noticed that stuff. North Korea, yeah, I don't think so. Sorry, Thanos. Yeah, that would bother. I mean, it doesn't bother me, but I notice it.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when the enemy is of the same type of like being that you, right? So he's a dude. He's just a dude. Why can't he?
Yeah,
he's got all the cool shit.
Especially if
and
that cool stuff.
Well, I mean, I'm way more annoyed about NPCs having like cool equipment than dying and you getting
not dropping it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Or
way more
Fallout
annoying.
where the dog dies and he's got it, you know, M16,
Oh.
and you're like,
Or
what the fuck?
or you kill one of those fucking giant. What are they called?
Yeah, and they
Death
You
Claws
know what
from
I'm talking
the
about.
beasts,
whatever.
the super. They even have a super.
Death Claws.
No, the big dudes, the orcs, the super freak. Is that what they are? Super freak.
Super mutant.
Super mutants.
The
And,
behemoths.
and you kill them, and they've have their machine gun, and it used to kill them. There
Yeah.
would be no machine gun.
You see the machine gun on the floor.
That happens a
but
lot
they-
of games, though.
Yeah, come on.
A lot of
guys.
games where, or they'll just have a random collection of items on them.
I mean, to that point, what annoys me is when there are different rules
Super mutants.
to you and to the AI. Like when the
Yeah.
AI never reloads, for instance, in like a shooting game.
Shoot,
that
dude, it
annoys
happens.
me.
They never run
Or
out of
can
bullets.
move like 10,
Yeah, yeah.
10 times as far as you can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I get
Or-
it, because you're a human, and so like
Yeah.
obviously your skills, at least when it comes to like, you know, tactics and stuff, will be higher, but it sucks.
And
It does suck.
particularly in survival games, like I remember like in Fallout 4 specifically when they just go completely ballistic with like Molotov cocktails and just throw them infinitely.
Yeah,
and then you
and
go
you've got,
and they have
and you've
like
got zero, and you
and-
kill them, and they've
yeah.
got none.
they have
Yeah.
none or one.
They've
Yeah,
got or they've got like a fire
They're just
extinguisher,
throwing like 30 at you.
and you're
yeah.
like, dude, what a weird combination. Or like GTA, you see a stack of dollars and it's only $2. Oh, I know that sounds so dumb, but that does bother me. When I'll
Yeah.
come up to a game, there'll be gold. In a game, you see stacks of gold and you'll get up, be like 13 copper pieces. And you'll be like, what? It's right there. What do you mean? Is that all we got for questions? Johnny?
Yeah, we covered them.
There we go. That'll be it for us. I'm going to wrap this up. We're at 1:10 for me, which means 8:10 for you guys? No, 5:10. Wait, 8:10 hours? What time is it?
9 p.m. here. I
9
think 10
p.m.
for Reg.
10
10
p.m.
p.m. for Reg.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, 10 p.m.
Yeah,
here.
so we're going to wrap this up so these guys so Reg can go read a book in bed, and
Yeah,
the rest of these
4
guys can
hours.
do whatever. Yeah, exactly.
I am actually on the second werewolf book again.
Wow.
The choose
Choose your own adventure.
Choose your own adventure. Yeah. For us next week, I don't know what's happening next week. It just depends on how the week rolls out. We may do a podcast, may do a mini one where just I show up. It sounds like Johnny will show up no matter what. So it could be just us two. It could be nobody.
Even if it's only alone.
It's just Johnny, just in
I would-
shock.
it's
You should just stare
me
like you're
drinking the eggnog.
nothing else.
Yeah.
No talking, just
Just-
fire behind you.
Yeah.
Just
but anyway,
ASMR eggnog drinking.
oh, that's a Pornhub category.
Yeah,
But anyway, thank you
Oh.
everybody. I appreciate it. We appreciate the super chats. We appreciate you guys being here. I hope you guys have an awesome winter. If
Please
we
take
don't
care of yourselves.
if we don't get to see you, I hope you guys get something for Christmas. And if you don't do Christmas, I hope somebody just randomly gives you something that's not an STD. That'll be it for us. I hope you guys have
Very
an
happy holidays.
awesome week. Happy holidays. Thanks to these guys as always for oh wait. Last 2 podcasts, I think I forgot this. Johnny, what are you streaming?
No worries. So I'm actually doing a series of charity streams until the end of the year
Very cool.
for WWF to help animals and shit.
Wrestling fit? What is it?
No, no.
Yeah, World Red Wrestling.
The other one.
They don't
the
need charity.
animals.
What's it
The
called? Do you know?
animals.
World Wildlife
WWF?
Foundation.
World Wildlife Foundation. Okay, great.
Wildlife. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Since the fires in Australia in
Mm-hmm.
last year, I've been like doing charities for them because they're pretty cool.
You got to save the ruse. That's what I say. The kangaroos.
And the pandas. It's
Yep.
all about the yeah. It's it's one of those feel good causes.
So you do it
so-
every Saturday?
Yeah, every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. So tomorrow will be our big first one. If you wanna show up, we'll be playing the Surge and talking shit.
Very cool. Very cool. Somebody actually doing something that's not an NFT. So if you get a chance,
There we go.
Check
No
out his stream.
NFTs.
no
No NFTs.
guaranteed non-NFT stream would be
Yeah.
Johnny's. Anyway, that'll be it for us. Thank you very much, everybody, for showing up, and we will see you next time. Enjoy your games, even if it is the gunk. Peace out.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Had to get it.